Bum bum, bum bum, ba la la la. Pitter patter, pitter patter, to the rhythm of the falling rain. Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today, we're going to be doing something kind of crazy. Once people start kind of funneling in here, I think we're going to take a second, because I think it's still taking a long time to ping everybody in Discord and all that jazz. Is this working? Let me make sure chat is live. It should be. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. All right. White? Okay, calm down there, buddy. Calm down there, buddy. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's announcing it, so I'm going to have to announce myself. It looks like copy link, close down, do an at everyone, live, debunking, shitty, amazing Spider-Man videos. So, hello everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to be doing a little stream here. Hi, Chiefy. Yeah, you want to come in on the stream too? Yeah. I will, baby boy. Good boy. So, hello everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. I love it now it announces it. Jesus Christ, dude. I hate how long it can take Pingcord to do shit. Basic shit, too. What the fuck is this shit? Oh my god. Last Meadow Online Grass Toucher has been defeated. What is this? I don't know what this is. Okay. I don't know why it's telling me that. I don't know what Discord's on about. Lurkin, sounds good, sounds good. I'm just going to kind of take a few minutes here as everyone kind of starts piling in. Oh, God, not the pert. Oh, it's the pert. How are you, homie? I'm fucking living, man. Today we're going to be talking about a couple videos, okay? Just two. Maybe more if we have time for it, and then afterwards I might just play some games or chill. We'll see how it plays out. I am on a timeline today a little bit, so, I mean, at 6 o'clock I got to bounce, and it's 9:23, so or not 6 o'clock, Jesus, no, way earlier than that. I got 3 o'clock, so I've got about 9 hours-ish, so I got time, but still. Kind of not counting Spider-Man violence, brother. It's so early in the morning. It's only 9:20. What do you mean? I wanted to do this, though. This is the content I wanted to make, and instead of just doing, like, a big fucking long video and, like, going over every single point, I figured it would be better for a live stream format, and then I might turn this into a video. Also, hello, hello. Marine, I thought you was working. Not today, no. Bro's unemployed. I'm not unemployed, not yet. I will say the YouTube ad revenue is coming in, so one of these days. I only have, like, $1.46 right now, or $1.60, actually, but still. It is coming. This is my cat's tail. Chibi. No, you're going to be on camera, you little shit. Come here. I'm going to use you for views. Look at this little guy. I'm sorry, you don't like this, do you? Okay, I'm going to put you down. I'm going to put you down. I'm sorry. He did not like being picked up like that. Hello, everyone. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about Not Yet Is Wild. You're so real. You're so real. But what I will say... Okay, Chief, you're going to wig out. So I'm going to open up the window for him. And now my green screen's going to be fucked up because this cat is actually such a fucking asshole. Okay, turn off that light. This one we could turn down because I got just all my lights now because my cat is actually such a bitch ass. Aw, so cute. He's a dickhead. But anyways, I look so fucking pacey now. You actually fucked up all my lighting, Chief. Why are you like this, you dirty rat? Can I don't think I can fix this. Oh, God. I have to fucking spend time fixing this shit now? Unfucking believable. That's fine enough for right now. I'll fix it later. Holy shit, he's white. I know, right? What if I do this? Turn that down, because that bring any color back to my face? Dude, I look awful. Chiefy, you know what? No, you don't get to have the window. Hop down. Hop down, you little shit. Come on. Here, I'll do this, actually. That's fine. I'll cover you behind the window. That's okay. You can figure out how to get down from there, right? Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, he's okay. All right. What did Chief do now? He's just fucking being a menace, as per usual, dude. No window time is evil. He'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. He'll be okay. I gotta adjust all my camera shit again. God damn it. Guys, don't ever get a cat. I love cats, but don't ever get one. None of my green screen is working now. What is happening, dude? I just wanted to fucking start this shit up. Why the fuck is Queen up? What do you mean? Queen's been up this time before. Okay, let's try this color. There we go. That seems. There we go. That was the color to pick. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So we're gonna be talking about a couple videos I found that were actually just straight up dog shit. They were really bad, and I wanted to talk about them. But the problem is they're very long-ish. And if I'm going to do a video, I'm just going to take literally what I talk about in this stream and turn that into a video because I think it'll be a lot easier on my sanity. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. We're going to be talking about two specific guys here. All right, I had to make sure all my shit was working. Thank God it is. Okay. Who's Queen, dude? I know, right? But yeah, we got SK's The Amazing Spider-Man is Awful. I probably should move so you guys can actually... I can't move. There you go. The Amazing Spider-Man is Awful. You can see the title there. I could also just do this. I don't know why I'm actually mentally handicapped. I swear to God. Let's close out that thumbnail that I just made. And then we got Cosmonaut Variety Hours, The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, Worse Than You Can Even Imagine. We're going to talk about these two videos, and I'm going to be kind of just jumping in and debunking them. I think we'll start with Cosmonauts first because it's the oldest, and it's what I've already gotten all the notes for. Because literally every single point he makes about the first film is so egregiously not correct, it's actually hurtful to anyone with intelligence. It's insane. I think he genuinely didn't watch the movie and just watched YouTube shorts. You know, like sometimes you'll get like a whole movie through YouTube shorts or like TikTok. I think that's actually how he watched the film all the way back in fucking 20... Shit, this is 2018? Yeah, 2018, yeah. But anyways, forgot how fast the motherfucker from Amnesia Dark Descent is. This dude can run. Dude, I know, right? You should play Amnesia the Bunker then. I think that's bad. Anyways, so we're just going to jump straight into it. And I'm just going to go through and debunk all of these.
You're a fraud, Spider-Man!
Yeah, here we go. So
a couple weeks ago, I had a look back on the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Oh, I got, hell yeah, dude.
You are a shining example of snowflake millennials that don't understand.
We'll go and skip this bit.
And it helped me with.
My appears and
And of course, I've heard terrible things about it.
So he hasn't seen The Amazing Spider-Man 2 like before this. This is his first time. So we're gonna get to The Amazing Spider-Man 2 maybe later. If we want to, we can do The Amazing Spider-Man 2 section. I want to focus on The Amazing Spider-Man 1 because that's the one that I'm like fluent in, and it's the one that is overhated to no fucking end. Everyone hates this film. It's a good film though. It's actually a really good film. Is it perfect? No, it has some flaws. It has some pretty big flaws, but it's pretty good. Shining bright like a diamond. Yeah, dude, I'm pasty today, dude.
Talked about this movie, but I kind of just got.
All right, we're gonna skip ahead.
Seen once when it came out. So before we start,
so he's seen this movie. I don't know if he's saying he rewatched it for this video or not. But going by some of his criticisms you're about to see, I don't think he did. I genuinely think when he said he saw it once when it came out, which was 4 or 6 years before this video dropped. So he had 6 years of time. I don't think he actually went back and watched it. That would explain a lot of his criticism you're about to see, because it's bad. I haven't watched them yet. They're pretty... I would say the second one's terrible. The second one's really bad. I still think it gets a little too much hate, and some people still make up shit about it that isn't true and valid, but it is still a very bad movie. It is not a good movie. Like, the second one is really egregiously bad. Yo, was the guy jumping off a bridge scene I just saw? What the hell? It's Spider-Man. Don't worry. He'll be fine. He won't, you know, he won't be the one dying on that bridge. Anyways.
To address about my last video, because it comes into play when reviewing these.
So, okay, here we go. First point.
People seem to mistake me teasing the campiness of the Sam Raimi trilogy as a bad thing. I said many times.
I agree that this is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. I think these, the movies being corny
on Sam
is a good thing.
My point was that the campiness is more of a product of the time, and this level of comic book silliness stands out by today's standards.
I slightly disagree at this point, but we're not on that movie, so we're not on that video, so we're going to kind of just let him continue with this point here.
But overall, I like the campiness, and I embrace it. It makes the movies 100% more enjoyable. But I'm not bringing this up to save face. You guys know I don't really care if people disagree with me or misinterpret my videos.
Misinterpret, of course, and don't agree, of course. It's not that you're just objectively incorrect and wrong about many of your, actually all of your arguments, but still, whatever.
I'm bringing this up because this is exactly why I hate The Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay, here we go. First point.
First, the Sam Raimi movies are still fun to watch. The worst one in the trilogy
I agree.
is really funny.
I agree. I think all of these films are very enjoyable. Even the third one, with how bad it is. If you got it wrong, you misinterpreted it exactly.
Can't have a
I think Spider-Man 3 is a pretty rough film. I think it's decent, but it has way too many problems to make it good. But it's still a fun time. Like, you cannot have a bad time watching these movies, I don't think.
But these movies are fucking miserable to watch.
Okay, so his first point, these movies are miserable. Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. Focusing specifically on Amazing Spider-Man 1 first, because that's what he started talking about. Okay? So that's what I'm going to address. So, let's hear why the Amazing Spider-Man 1 is miserable to watch.
They have little to no humor.
Objectively wrong. These movies are fucking filled with comedy. The shot he's using right here is an entire joke where she gets pissed off at her dad because she's like, fuck, he's about to come in here and see Peter Parker, who's all fucking cut up in a Spider-Man costume. He's about to come into the room, so she opens the door and says, no, Dad, leave me alone. Then she realizes, fuck, that was me, and she opens the door and goes, okay, hey, I'm sorry, and then she's trying to think of an excuse, and then she goes, I'm having cramps. Like, she's on her period. It's like, oh, it's so nasty down there. It's so bad. And the dad's like, it's all I needed to know. It's okay. I figured as much. I figured everything, figured it was fine. And then he leaves. It's a funny scene. Like, even if you don't think it's funny, it's a comedic scene. It is comedy. That's what it's supposed to be. Like, here we go. The Ghostbusters remake from 2016 was a fucking atrociously unfunny film. It was not funny at all. It was actually so ridiculously boring, I wanted to chop my fucking foot off just to wake up so I could continue watching it, because I wanted to be fair. Even though I really just should have stopped watching after the first 20 minutes. I really should have, because that's all you needed. But anyways, point is, I cannot say those movies are void of or what does he specifically say? Is that what he says?
These movies are fucking miserable to watch. They have little to no humor.
Yeah, little to no humor. It's like, it has humor. It's just not good humor. You can say it's not funny. That's fair. Which, again, I think is unfair also at the same time, because, like, I think the films are funny. I think they're the type of humor works on pretty much just about everyone. I watched the movie with a couple buddies of mine. Prophet Jig, who's in chat, is a huge, huge hater. He will make it known if he doesn't like something. He thought the film was pretty funny. Like, what? It's been so long since I've seen some of these movies. I might as well be a noob. Dude, go watch the first one. Don't watch the second one. The second one's horrible. First one's pretty good, though. It has some problems, but I think it's overall, it's like a 7 out of 10. It's a good movie. Anyways.
They have almost no signs of life whatsoever.
What? How do you measure what the signs of life are in a movie? How do you measure that? That woman seems alive. The dad seems alive. You gotta stop hating on the second one. On the Amazing Spider-Man 2? Before I go, are you gonna watch the Backrooms movie? I plan on it. Mostly because Kane Pixel's a fucking talented horror artist, you know what I mean? Like, director, so. Second one, Pert, was completely wasted. Second one, what? Second movie? Second Amazing Spider-Man? I agree. If you're talking about the second one for that, yes. And Queen said yes, yeah. I think the second one, we'll have to watch it all together. It's been a minute. I think I saw it like last year. And I remember I was like, it's not good. The opening Spider-Man sequence of that film, the opening web swing is so good. And then it immediately just cascades downwards from there. Dude, it is insanely bad. It's insane. But we'll get to it someday.
Uplifting or inspiring moments like the Spider-Man movies that come before or after.
Bullshit. The bridge scene in the Amazing Spider-Man 1. That is a very uplifting moment. That is an extremely uplifting moment. If you don't agree, then you're just an idiot. Again, you can argue it didn't feel uplifting. I think that's fine. But at that point, it becomes more subjective. And I don't think that is entirely valid criticism in terms of what you're trying to say here, which is that the movie's bad. Trying to say it's worse than you can even imagine, you're saying that as an objective statement. This movie's worse than you imagine. Okay? If it's worse than I imagine, that is an objective statement. It's no longer subjective, right? So if that's the case, then you have to come at me with objective points. You can't use subjective. I don't like this. I don't like that. You have to actually found something that is based on the basis that this film has a flaw. You know what I mean? I just remember that you said it was bad, and I was trying to rage bait you. I haven't seen it. Oh, that's valid. You really got me, Queen. Urgh! No, I mean, I think it has good things in it, though. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is a bad movie, but there are some fucking great scenes. And great acting, too. There's some phenomenal acting in that film. It sucks because it's wasted. It really is.
You don't have likable characters and charming, over-the-top performances.
I don't know about charming, but I would say the Lizard is very over the top. I think Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone's chemistry is quite charming, actually. And I think they're very lovable. I think those two characters are very lovable. I think they're very charming. I think they're memorable. That's like something that everyone remembers about these movies is their romance. I'm going to go look for something to drink. Dude, it's 9:30. Unless you mean like non-alcoholic, which, okay, good. But don't be drinking alcohol right now. What do you mean? Anyways.
You took a really long time to make because I couldn't even sit down and finish Amazing Spider-Man 2 in one go.
Okay.
It took me 3 days to watch it complete.
You're just a bitch. Like, I don't know what to say. That movie, dude, as bad as that movie is, there's no way it took you 3 days to watch it. You are just capping right now. You're such a bitch. If that movie made you take 3, dude, don't watch any other movies. If that movie was bad, don't watch anything else. Continue watching your Goy Slop, please. Because holy fuck, that movie is actually not that bad. It's like a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. It's not good. It is a bad movie. At that point, you're in the bad category. Is it like the worst thing I've ever seen? Is it taking me multiple? No, you're fucking dingling. What?
Completely.
3 days!
So with all that said, let's get started. We're gonna start with the first movie, The Amazing Spider-Man.
All right, here we go.
Now, if I'd never heard of Spider-Man, if I wasn't a huge fanboy cuck shill like I am, would I hate this movie?
You do happen to be a cuck shill. Just for not this, but we can move on from that.
No, probably not. There are 2 ways to approach a review of this series.
I disagree. I think if you're going to approach a media that you want to criticize, then you should approach it as a media that you're going to criticize. If it's an adaptation, you can approach it. I think you should always have the adaptation point in mind. Because if a movie fails as an adaptation, I think that is a failure on the movie. I think it is. Now, I think where you start getting the subjectivity of it is, again, how much of a problem is that in the movie? That's a discussion point. That's something that we can have a talk, about. But if your point is like, well, you could look at it from adaptation or from a standalone. It's like, no, it's either it is or it isn't. Is it good or is it not? Is it a good movie but a bad adaptation? That's something that should be brought up. If you say, I don't know about the adaptation, I just watched this movie, then that's fair. That's valid. But you're saying now that you are a Spider-Man aficionado. Guess who also, who is in this live stream, is a Spider-Man aficionado. I don't think I'm saying that word correctly, but you know what I mean. Me. I fucking love Spider-Man. So I know a thing or two about fucking Spider-Man. Okay? So, let's go ahead and hear your critiques. Come on now.
And as a film fan. For instance, YMS's review from a few years ago very much focuses on how this movie fails as a film. While
I love how he goes Amazing Spider-Man 2, to be exact. And again, this is my fucking problem with this guy's fucking arguments. So many of these points apply to Amazing Spider-Man 2 and not the first one. The first one is a fucking good film, but he just attaches all of it to it. It's like, no, you can't go backwards, which the other guy does too. SK actually does genuinely apply criticisms to the first film that are more so applicable to the second. If I is a bad Halo game, no matter what, but it is a fun, decent game on its own. Overall, still a bad game because being a continuation and adaptation matters more to actual fans. Well, yeah, but not even just that. But again, it depends on how it fails as a continuation / adaptation. How does it fail as an adaptation? How does that fail? Because again, that's what I'm pointing out, though, because I do agree. I agree. So this is my problem that I have when it comes to this type of criticism. It's like we have to have a discussion. We have to fucking expand on this. He's going to, in 17 minutes, I think is what it was. I think it was 17 minutes. He has 17 minutes to explain why this movie sucks. And his first point's going to be adaptation? Fuck no. You do not do that. You can sprinkle little bits of adaptation throughout the fucking criticism. Like if I was to have 17 minutes to criticize Batman vs. Superman, I would absolutely throw in a reason why Batman should not kill and why that is a failure as an adaptation. Because that makes him boring. He's not cool. He's just really lame. That is why. It makes him less unique and interesting. Going for food on some side. Hell yeah, dude.
Screen Crush's video looks at how the movie fails as a Spider-Man film.
I think if you use Screen Crush in any capacity as like a validating critique, or what the fuck am I even trying to say? I think if you use Screen Crush in any capacity as like an example, I think you're just fucking no. I think it's Screen Crush. Who's Screen Crush again? I'm trying to fucking remember, dude. I remember the last time I saw them doing something, it was bad. Screen Crush. Yeah, that's all I needed to say. 81 fucking Easter eggs. Go blow my fucking... Never mind, sorry. Calm down, Perlite. We're your friends. Back, I found Pete's also unrelated to anything, but I hate Aquaman as a character. There's nothing interesting about fish fuckers. Aquaman can be a very interesting character. It's just he's never been adapted well. He has some good comics. He absolutely does. This is what I hate about fucking comic book movies and directors. They will try... Dude, it's like fucking changing the name of the Green Lantern show to just a Lanterns because the green part was silly. Then you don't understand superheroes. You can make Aquaman cool. They've done it in the past. Ditch the fucking goofy classic costume. Every character, every comic book character has a goofy starter costume. Every single one. At their initial appearance looks goofy to some degree. Batman's costume from his original debut looked fucking awful. It looked really bad. It is okay to not adapt 100% his original costume and instead go to like a little bit of a later one. Bring Iron Man's original costume. Dude, I fuck with Iron Man's original costume. That thing's fucking cool as shit. Again, but again, when they adapted it in the Iron Man movie, they didn't just fucking rip the goddamn goofy big steel fucking cage man. They didn't do that shit at all. It was his Mark 1 suit getting out of cave and it looked like scrap, which it looked cool. It looked great. It worked for what the movie's trying to say. And then after that is when he puts on his fucking red and gold armor. It looks cool as shit. And it works. You skipped over so many armors to get to the one that everyone likes, which I believe was the Artemis suit. I could be wrong. It's been so long since I've touched an Iron Man comic. But the armor that it was inspired by is not his fucking OG Mark fucking 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter. They skipped so many, which is okay. That's fine. Again, it's okay to do that, but I'm getting off track now.
Now, as someone who really likes Spider-Man and someone who really likes movies in general, I'm gonna try to do both. As far as general story structure, pacing, and acting go, things could be way worse. It's not really remarkable, like there's really nothing interesting happening here.
How do you quantify nothing interesting happening? I think the movie's interesting. Boom, I've already destroyed that point. I love when he throws in, dude, he loves to throw in vague statements like this. I find it interesting. Your point's now moot. Look how easy that was. Now, if you can quantify that, the movie's not interesting because X, Y, and Z, or if you just simply say, in my opinion, the movie's not that interesting to me, I think that's more valid. Again, though, it's subjective. It's a nothing burger of a point. I don't give a fuck what your personal opinions are of the film. I want to hear facts. What does the movie fail at? What does it succeed at? Blah, 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 blah.
But there's nothing horrible either. Now, I'm of the opinion that you can change stuff about superheroes in their movies if it makes the movie better.
Okay, all right, I agree. I think you can change the... Again, Aquaman's a great example, although, again, I think you should adapt the character. I think you should adapt aspects of his later renditions where they make him cooler. You can do that. You absolutely can, right? But I'm okay if you want to change little things to get him to a better point that's better for adaptation. You know what I mean?
I already talked about how changing the Mandarin into a different character wasn't a bad idea.
Okay. It is a bad idea. That's a failure of adaptation as well. But that's Iron Man 3. Actually, no, I can discuss this. Mandarin being a change of character actually destroys the entire film's fucking tension. In one fell swoop. Every bit of tension in that film is immediately exhausted and it has to rebuild the tension from the ground up because now they have to reintroduce the bad guy to us after like at the halfway point of the movie. It's literally a twist for twist's sake. There's no value to it. It actually destroys the tension and the stakes of the film. I'm not even joking. It immediately destroys the stakes. Everything leading up to this point was like decent in this film. There's like lots of little issues here and there, especially with how Iron Man's acting. But still, this is the point where the movie hits a point of no return and it plummets in quality. This is the reason. This was a horrible twist. This was a terrible change. Now, can you do a change where the Mandarin is not who you think it is? Absolutely. But this is a horrible way of going about it.
And how it actually worked out pretty well.
It worked out terribly. You're objectively incorrect. This is a terrible twist. It does not work. You destroy so many of the stakes in this film because of this scene.
Currently in the movies, Thor is a fucking clown and everybody likes it.
Not everyone likes it. I really didn't like this change. I actually really hated this change. On a rewatch, Thor Ragnarok is really not good. I don't know why everyone blew that movie out of the water. It's a funny film, but if you know anything, if you care even remotely about these characters, the film sucks. If this is your first ever fucking movie you've ever watched, it's a pretty funny movie. I'll give it credit. But the film is actually just straight up dog shit. It's not a good movie. It's really not. I don't know if I can say dog shit. That's a little harsh. It's like a 6 out of 10. It's like slightly above average. Dude, every problem that you see in like modern MCU movies started with this one. I'm not even joking. Every single problem you can think of. It starts here. This is where the first one is. It's bad. Anyways.
Including myself. This is not how he is in the comics. He's not a fucking goofball.
He's not.
But they decided to make him funnier because he just wasn't resonating with audiences.
Okay, I hear that point is almost valid, where it's like, well, we changed it because obviously major audiences weren't connecting with the character. My argument for this would be and I know this isn't even relevant to the Spider-Man shit, it's just, this is like the little shit that just pisses me off. Okay, counter argument. Why don't we make a change that not only fits the character, but audiences also like more? Like adding funnier side characters, which the movie does do. There are some funny side characters. But why do we have to bring down Thor's character? Please see, maybe after I'm done with the stream, man. Why are you asking me while I'm streaming? White Boy has got no motion.
These changes aren't bad. They actually make the characters a little better.
No, they don't. They actually objectively make them worse and less interesting. Turning Thor into a goofball literally takes away everything that made the character good. Now, you can have him make jokes. That's fine. He makes jokes throughout the movies. Dude, I've seen Thor Dark World 3 times, and I don't remember anything about that fucking film. I don't remember a single thing about that movie. It is actually the most forgettable movie I've ever seen in my life. I will be the first one on the stand to say you could have done a lot better with Thor as a character. You could have. My problem is, hyper specifically, Thor Ragnarok is not that good. When is Thor Dark World? That's the second Thor movie, and I think it takes place... Yeah, it takes place after Avengers. I think. Yeah, it takes place right after Avengers. Anyways.
However, when you make Batman pull out a gun and shoot people, I don't think that's a very good change. I don't think you should have done that.
Okay, so subjective. You can absolutely make Batman pull out a gun and kill people because the context is what matters. The context of the scene he uses actually completely obliterates his own point. And I hate the fact that he's making me defend Batman versus Superman. This makes me so enraged. He's after the rant video part. Yes. Thor more like thong. Yes. Damn, yes. This is what pisses me off. The scene he uses is a dream / future sequence, like distant future, where it's set in an apocalyptic setting. And yeah, Batman uses a gun because it's supposed to juxtapose. I cannot speak. Oh my god. Juxtapose. There we go. Juxtapose. It's supposed to juxtapose the actual Batman from our current timeline. That's the point. Now, don't get me wrong. The movie's terrible. It doesn't do that. It fails at doing that, in fact, because Batman kills in the present, which is a problem. But what that is supposed to do in that moment is supposed to show how far the world has fallen. That's the entire purpose of that scene. So yes, actually, that's one time where it kind of works. Now, the movie itself fucking sucks, and everything fucks up that scene, but that scene itself could have worked. Boo him, boo. I'm killing myself now on stream.
And that's the main problem with this entire series.
Okay, what is it?
It doesn't understand Spider-Man. It doesn't understand the stuff that makes Spider-Man work.
You're wrong. But he hasn't quantified it. Let's hear him quantify this. Or, yeah, quantify this? Whatever.
So let's run down all these little issues because the little stuff really adds up. So the second this movie starts, we are shown the first thing that's wrong with this series. It over-romanticizes the concept of Peter Parker's parents.
No, the first film does not do that. It doesn't. Quantify. Thank you, Jasmine. This film does not do that. Second film does. You can use this for the second film. I actually completely agree that the second film is one of the biggest problems of that movie. And it's not just because, oh, it doesn't understand Spider-Man. No. The problem with them making everything about Peter's parents in the second film is, again, it takes away the stakes from him and puts it on characters that we already know how and why they died. We already know. There's nothing new to that information. We understand that his parents are dead. And we understand why they had to die. We get it within the first film. We understand. It makes sense. We don't need it anymore. But because they have to take over the plot, they take a valuable screen time. They take a valuable fucking character development away from Peter. They take away the fact that Peter getting the fucking spider bite was mere coincidence, which is something that does, I think, to a certain degree, reduce Spider-Man as a character. Like, there's a lot of problems that come down from this specific change. First film doesn't do that, though. That's the second film. So why is it here in the first part? It doesn't do that in the first film.
Say that 3 times fast. Peter Parker's parents. Actually, it wasn't that hard. It was actually pretty easy to say. Anyway, now the comics have done this a little bit too, but it's not something that's ever focused on, because Peter Parker's parents don't fucking matter.
Again, but that's to you. You can't just be like, well, it doesn't matter to me, so it doesn't matter to anybody. If you tell a really good story and it involves Peter Parker's parents, then you have to acknowledge that's a good story. It's a good story. This is what it is. You can not like that they chose that fucking direction. That's fine. I think it's a-okay. But if it's a good story and it's written well, that's all that should matter. Anyways.
It's kind of asking a lot for the audience to care about Aunt May, Uncle Ben, and his mom and his dad all in one movie.
That is not asking a lot. That is 4 characters. And it's also not asking you to care that much about them. It's asking you to the whole reason why we introduced Peter's dad specifically in this movie, the whole purpose we introduced Peter's dad into this movie, there's a specific reason, because the theme of the movie is about fatherhood. That's the entire theme of the movie. It is very apparent. It is very obvious. That is why they focus this much screen time at the start of the movie to Peter's dad. Because Peter is looking for that father figure throughout the movie. That's why he can't listen to Uncle Ben's voicemail at the start, or after Uncle Ben dies. He can't listen to it. He can only listen to it at the end of the film, because that's him finally realizing and embracing that Uncle Ben was his father. He tries to look for Dr. Connors because he's looking for a father figure that he doesn't see as his Uncle Ben. Because Uncle Ben's just some normal guy. Peter's always wanted more. He's always wanted a dad who could be like him. There's a really, really great scene that a lot of these reviewers tend to forget, where it's before Peter even starts going down the rabbit hole that is Oscorp. Uncle Ben goes into his room and decides to open up and tell him the truth about the guy that, about Dr. Connors, the guy that Peter's dad was friends with. And that's what sends Peter down the rabbit hole. That's what opens up the fucking box that ends up leading down this huge fucking tragedy that is Uncle Ben's death and him becoming Spider-Man. That is what starts it. Because he decides to sit down with his fucking, basically, who is his son. It's a really great scene. It's a really good conversation. Peter even says, hey, Uncle Ben, you're a really good dad. Because he wants his Uncle Ben to know that, but he's lying to a certain extent. He's looking for that other father. It's interesting. It's great. I really like it. Like that's a core theme of the movie.
That's too much, and it's unnecessary. There's no reason to have his parents be so important in this movie.
Okay, this is just objectively wrong, and this tells me you didn't watch the movie since you first saw it in 2012. This tells me that. You want to know why it tells me that? I'll tell you why. I'm going to tell you why right now. So, first things first. This right here, this entire argument is built on a fucking bullshit foundation that his parents are not important. The entire film happens because of his dad. Peter Parker's dad is the whole reason why all of this movie happens. Because Peter is looking for his father. He's looking for answers regarding his father. He's looking for a father figure. He's looking for someone to fill that hole that his dad never was able to fill. He realizes the dad he always had was Uncle Ben after he's already dead. That's like the entire point. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? What are you talking about? And it's funny because later on he'll like retract on this point. It's like the funniest thing. He'll be like, yeah, I don't even know why this happened. It's like, oh, it's because his fucking dad wasn't, you pretended like his dad wasn't important. What are you talking about? Anyways.
If you completely take these 2 characters out, it does not change the narrative one bit.
It changes the entire narrative because everything happens because of Peter's dad. That's what starts the fucking narrative. That's the starting point. What happens in the scene you're showing is what allows the whole movie to happen. If this did not happen, none of the movie would happen. Spider-Man literally wouldn't be Spider-Man. He would never exist if it wasn't for this. The Lizard probably wouldn't have happened. Like any number of things.
Instead, it just becomes, oh, Norman Osborn created the spiders. He created the superpower.
Getting rid of Peter's parents in the beginning would completely disregard the whole motivation of Peter being Spider-Man, and they are a part of his character. Exactly, yes. Not even necessarily his character progression, but it is wholly relevant to the plot of the movie. Yes, you're objectively correct.
Oh, Norman Osborn created the spiders.
Wow, who would have... Yeah, when you take away a core fundamental character, look at that, how easy this is. You can actually just change it to something else. What do you mean? Yeah, you can... Dead Space, literally, you could just remove Isaac Clarke from Dead Space. It wouldn't change anything. Like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. It would change everything. But if I went... Here we go. It would change everything. Then it's like, oh, but you could just replace him with, like, any other guy. Holy fuck, it's really easy if you just replace things with other things. Who would have guessed? Like, what are you talking about? What does that point even mean then? You can get rid of this guy and just swap it for something else. So you're just, it's the same fucking movie then. What do you mean? What? All you're doing is getting rid of every reason why Peter does what he does in the film. It's like, well, you could change that too. At that point, you're just writing a different fucking movie. What are you talking about? You're writing fan fiction. What do you mean? How is that? Like, what are you talking? What is that point? Anyways.
He created the superpowers. Okay? That's exactly what it's like in the Ultimate Spider-Man series. That's exactly what it's like in the original Sam Raimi movies.
I don't think that is how it was in the Sam Raimi movies. I think it was just a... Was it Oscorp? I don't think it was it? And it wasn't Norman Osborn. He didn't do that. That's weird. I don't think that's right. I'm not here to criticize that, though. So.
I really do not understand why his
Is I Am Jesus Christ 10% off stream? Hell yeah.
parents are so focused on in these movies, because
The second one they're focused on ridiculously, yes. Not the first one. This is footage from the second movie, not the first one.
it doesn't go anywhere.
It literally has the perfect endpoint in the first fucking film. It does. It ends perfectly and beautifully on a perfect note in the first fucking movie. What are you talking about?
It's not that hard to motivate Spider-Man. Show me Uncle Ben getting capped, have Aunt May say something nice, bing bang boom, it's a Spider-Man story. It's not that hard. Now the second...
Dude, just change it to something else because I don't like this thing. That's not an argument. That's a nothing burger of a point. You can remove Leon from Resident Evil and nothing would change. Exactly. You can remove Leon from... You can just remove Leon from Resident Evil and replace it with another guy named Spion. And have him be the exact same character. It's like, yeah, I guess you could do that, but why would you even remove Leon at that point? It's like this point. It's like, well, you don't have to do it. You don't have to, but the writer chose to, and it did it well. It did. It did it objectively well. Maybe not objectively. That's a little, I probably shouldn't throw that word around as much as I have been. I just hate this video so much because so much is not it's just objectively wrong. It's not, and a lot of it's just not objective at all. A lot of it's subjective. But he likes to persuade, or likes I have a lot of saliva in my mouth, my bad. He likes to present it as if it's an objective statement. It's like, no, you're wrong, you fucking troglodyte.
movie talks about
Anyways.
parents way more, so we're gonna save it for that movie.
Then why are we even talking about it now? Like, what are you talking about it? Yeah, the second movie does it way worse, but I just want to bring it up now. The first movie doesn't have that problem. Okay, so you've already been wrong about everything so far. Here we go.
For now, let's talk about the next shitty thing in this series, Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield is an actual good actor.
Sorry, my promise is to clean.
This is a great scene.
Along
Look
with
at
my
my hoodie, my
fuck
fuck you
you
flip-flops. You pretentious douchebag.
You can
What a great scene.
tell that all the things that are wrong with his character are really not his fault, and that he was told to do this shit.
Yeah, that's what acting is, you fucking dingling. What?
I did rip into Tobey Maguire pretty egregiously, so
Okay, my problem with Tobey Maguire is he's way too dorky. He does not fit Peter Parker at all. He actually does a terrible Peter Parker. He does. Peter Parker in these films is actually bad. Now, for the movies standalone, they're great. For an adaptation, not good. Peter Parker is not like this in the comics, not even remotely close. Peter Parker's kind of like, he's kind of an asshole, but it's a very realistic and human asshole. He's the type of guy who will like stand on business even if he doesn't have spider powers. Peter's a diva in the comics. He is. He's very much a diva in the comics, actually. Like, this is the same guy who Flash Thompson broke his glasses and he went, okay, I'm going to beat your fucking ass. And he almost revealed he was Spider-Man in that moment just to fucking kick Flash Thompson's ass. He goes to the fucking ring with Flash and almost kills him with one punch because he's so pissed off he forgets to hold back. He knocks him out in one punch because he forgot to hold back and was so pissed. He went to a boxing ring with Flash Thompson. This is year 1 Peter Parker. This is like month 4 Peter Parker, or Spider-Man, by the way. You know, it's kind of like the loser in the corner who's like, they don't know who I'm sorry. No, legitimately. That's why the Amazing Spider-Man movies, unironically, have a much better adaptation of Peter Parker. It is. Because he's not a fucking nerd who goes, actually, MJ, I think I like you. Quantum theory. That's not how he acts. He sits in the back of the class. He doesn't talk. He doesn't do anything. He just sits there and is quiet. He gets picked on because he's different. He's weird. He is. He's also the type of guy, though, to look at Flash and be like, Flash, put the kid down. And then he gets his ass kicked. That's Peter Parker. It is. Speaking of Flash, I hate that they made him a generic bully character. Even in the first film, I'm fine with it. That's only, like, I think that works for the character. Although I will say the Amazing Spider-Man did a much better job. Bit of an edgelord feeling. I would say little as edgelord, but definitely edge. Definitely edge. Because with edgelord, I think it implies that you're trying too hard to be edgy. Whereas with Peter Parker in the OG comics, or not even the OG comics necessarily, but the Amazing Spider-Man, he's just edgy. He's edge. He is. Dude, I loved Flash and the Amazing. Oh, dude, he's awesome. He's fucking awesome. He has a great character arc, and it's perfect.
Oh, we gotta be fair. Like I said, Tobey Maguire was doing a way better job than Garfield as Peter Parker.
Okay, let's hear how you quantify this.
And that's because his version of Peter Parker was written way better than this one. He was
written better than this one. Okay, I feel like Andrew's the right amount of douchebag to actually fit Comic Pete in the video. He mentions Peter being too much of a pretty boy, but I feel like that's just non-issue. Also, he isn't ugly. Dude, that's another thing. I fucking hate that shit. That shit pisses me off, Bird. Almost like the nerd who's like, bud, you're gonna be at McDonald's like while you're all these. Exactly. No, absolutely. And yes, you're 100% right, Murray. Yes. Also, again, Peter is just not ugly in the comics. I don't know where this misconception came from. He's like, dude, he's a man whore. He gets so much pussy. Like, it's insane. It's like a bit at this point in the comics. There's a part where he was a nerd in high school. I think it was Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman. She was like, oh yeah, I was in high school with you. And he's like, what? I didn't know that. And it's a whole bit because everyone's pissed off at Peter. Like, dude, you're such an asshole. How could you not know she liked you in high school? And he's like, I didn't know. Like, it's a man whore joke. Because he is. Dude, he's swimming in pussy. He can't handle the heat. He's almost on the same level of man whore as Batman. Oh, dude, it's on the same level. The only difference is Batman tends to use like money to get women. Peter's just naturally that fucking charismatic. Like, here, I need to look at my favorite era and my favorite design of Peter Parker. I needed you guys to see this. This right here is like my all-time favorite fucking look. Dude, this guy, holy fuck. Like John had described it, he's a diva. This guy is a fucking hottie. He wears fucking turtlenecks everywhere he goes, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Look at this fucking guy. Broke but pretty. Dude got the Jack Nicholson cut, kind of. I mean, usually it's the same 3 rotation. Peter's rotation increases every. Exactly. It's like, what are you fucking talking? Dude, he's not ugly. But again, we'll let it play out.
Huge nerd, and he was a fucking loser.
Okay, so that makes him well written. No. That does not make him well written. That just gives him, that's character traits. That's not well written. What do they do with it? I like the crop top booty shorts image. It's a little funny. Oh, dude, what does it say? It's like animal or something. Peter Parker animal outfit, or I guess crop top would probably help. Yeah, this shit. Oh, it's such a good fit, dude. I love this fit. It's so funny. I forgot about it. I love it so much.
Now, yeah, Andrew.
If he wasn't smart, he would definitely star in porn, dude. He probably could, but he's too smart for that. He's too smart.
Garfield has these scenes of techno babble where you can see that he's actually kind of intelligent.
How did you come up with this?
This pisses me off. This is how I know he didn't watch this. This scene is not him just spouting technobabble. This is him basically giving this guy an answer that he found in a thing of notes. He didn't. This is not an example of him using technobabble. The technobabble would be him talking to Connors for the first time and saying a bunch of generic biology terms, basically. But again, that one makes sense because the whole point is he's the one person in the room who understands Connors. The father figure he's been looking for. That's the fucking point of the scene. So it's not just technobabble for technobabble. It's there for a reason. He is smart, just like Connors. Connors sees sees Peter's dad in his son. It makes sense. I mean, Kylie is such a bad bitch. That's what I'm saying. He is, dude. He really is. And also, this scene also would have worked better because he actually does talk about the piping in this scene. But again, it's not even technobabble. It's just like, yeah, that's totally reasonable shit.
Scenes of technobabble where you can see that he's actually kind of intelligent.
How did you come up with this?
And in some scenes, he's a fucking idiot.
It's called strategy.
Oh my god.
Where the term.
This scene, he's an idiot because that's the point of this scene is that he's a fucking dipshit high schooler. Dude, it doesn't matter how smart you are as a high schooler. You're gonna be a fucking idiot and do some shit. This scene actually perfectly demonstrates the type of guy Peter Parker is. In this scene, he, again, dumb teenager. Every teenager's a fucking idiot. In this scene, what he is doing is he's confronting Captain Stacy, aka the cop that is hunting down Spider-Man trying to stop him. And saying, I think Spider-Man actually might be a good guy. And then the dad's like, really? Why do you think that? And he's like, well, he stopped that car thief. And then the dad goes, okay, do you realize that the cops were letting that car thief go because we were tracking him down to basically a huge criminal enterprise that we have now no way of tracking because Spider-Man stopped him too early in the fucking crime. Not only that, but as far as we know, the guy didn't commit a crime. We have no evidence that he was in that car because he has wearing gloves, right? He took the fucking little thing that he was using to open to unlock the car. He took that off. He had that shit. It's like, there's no way we can prosecute him now. There's no evidence. You just beat up some random dude, Peter. It's not even an idiot per se. It's morally childish. He has a basic 1D. Exactly. 100%. Yes. Perfect way to describe it. Yes. He is literally looking at it from like, good guy, bad guy. His dad is saying, or not his dad, obviously, but fucking Captain Stacy saying, Peter, that is not how the real world works. Spider-Man was an idiot and it works. Again, because it's supposed to help him turn into the ideal Spider-Man. This is at the start of his career. He is not a full-time superhero yet. At this point in time, he has yet to even fight his first villain. He's just been hunting bad guys who look like the guy who shot Uncle Ben. He thinks he's morally righteous, but in this moment, it's deconstructing him. And he's realizing that he's wrong. That's the whole point of the scene. It's also a really funny scene. It's a really funny scene.
School. But he has way too much confidence. He doesn't have that wallflower.
In this scene, that's what I fucking love about this video. If you just watch the movie, you can deconstruct every point. In this scene, he is literally nervous. You can see in the clip he's looking around nervously. Because the chick's saying, hey, are you going to be busy like Friday night? And he says, no. And he's like blushing. He's getting all nervous because he thinks a girl's about to ask him out. And then she's like, cool, would you want to take pictures of my boyfriend's car? Because he's a photographer. And he's like, yeah, I could check the schedule, sure. And then he rides away on a skateboard. He's just immature and blind by vengeance. Exactly, that's the whole point. The whole point. Which, by the way, Peter Parker in the comics was that too. Before he fully embraces the superhero identity, he's an immature asshole. Even after becoming Spider-Man. Like full time, stopping Uncle Ben's killer, all of that. He goes in, he almost dies to Doc Ock in their first encounter because he was so bored beating up normal criminals that he just jumped in half-assed. He jumped in and just went to go beat up the guy. At one point, he tries to stop a group of thugs that were scoping out a jewel store, and they threaten to call their lawyers on him because they technically were just looking. They didn't do any crimes yet. Like, they're about to, they actually almost, I think they do call for a police officer. He has to swing away. Because he's like, fuck, that was stupid. Yeah, they didn't commit a crime. Bro, you should put the RE1 Director's Cut basement song over this video. You're so right. I think there's too much fucking audio bullshittery going on anyways because of Cosmonaut's fucking goofy-ass points, though. I would otherwise.
Or quality that Peter Parker needs. He's not a nerdy outcast.
He's literally an outcast. He doesn't have any friends. And he is nerdy. He's very much nerdy. They show this well. He makes a bunch of tech in the movie. You see him making web shooters. You see him talking to Dr. Connors using scientific mumbo jumbo. You see him fucking making a little door before he even becomes Spider-Man. You see he has an electronic door lock on his door in his room as a nice little way to tell the audience without directly telling them this guy's pretty smart and fucking pretty tech savvy. Oh, to say that motherfucker, like, yeah. Like, what are you talking about? You're just making up bullshit.
He's a fucking skater punk.
How is he a skater punk? How is he a punk? All because he rides a skateboard does not make him a skater punk. I rode a skateboard. I'm not a punk. Like, what are you talking about? In college, dude, I literally rode a skateboard everywhere. Am I all of a sudden a punk now? No. I just want punk in the same way. Exactly.
He's less geek and he's a little more freak, if you get what I'm saying. You get it? I referenced the show that the Green Goblin's in. Anyway, and this...
He's actually very much a freak. And a geek. He's both. Real image of Cosmonaut on screen. No. I get what you mean, Queen. You're not at the fucking the nerd. You're so right.
This is a core aspect of Peter Parker that I think you should not change under any circumstances.
Okay, why? That's not a valid criticism. That's just you being like, well, I don't think you should. Okay, why? Give me a reason. Because you don't like it? That's not a valid criticism. That's just something you don't like. Now, if you explain why you don't like it and it's a valid point, then there you go. For example, if I were to say, Peter Parker being just some like generic guy doesn't properly convey how much of a drastic change it is when he goes from Peter Parker to Spider-Man, like making it more confusing how people, one, don't identify him just off of how he acts, but two, on the basis that it's just not as interesting as seeing a guy who's a little tiny. This is why I think the Sam Raimi movies, although I think they do a terrible job adapting Peter Parker works really well in those movies because he's such a contrast to Spider-Man. Spider-Man is this big, bombastic, bigger than life hero who quips and makes jokes and is funny and is cool and he's badass, he's kicking ass. And then you have Peter Parker who's a derpy little wimpy dude who barely can fucking get out of bed in the morning because he's afraid he's gonna get stepped on by everyone around him. It's a really good contrast. That is a valid argument, I think, to a certain degree, but again, it's subjective at that point. Like, yeah, sure, you're valid, but like that doesn't make this movie's adaptation bad. It just means you don't like it as much. You can not like something and have it be good just as much as you can like something and have it be bad. Still gooning to a photo on his desktop. That is true too, actually. I forgot about that part, which I still don't think is that creepy. A lot of people say it's creepy and gross that he has like a picture of Gwen on his computer. I look at it more like in a wholesome way where he's like, man, she's really cute. But he also takes pictures of her when she's not looking, so again. He drives a car so he knows how to fix an alternator. Exactly, so true, so true. So true.
Tobey Maguire's punchable face, but I think the punchable face is way better than the sexy face. Can we
And it's like, oh my god, dude. Okay, Andrew Garfield's attractive. So what? Do you want them to get like the ugliest fat fucking oaf that you could ever find and have him play Peter Parker? No. No, you're not going to do that. People in Hollywood tend to be pretty attractive. Dude, the other guy they were going to get was Josh Hutcherson. He's an attractive dude too. What are we talking about? Tobey Maguire, although he's a very goofy looking guy, he's arguably pretty attractive. He's not ugly by any means. Like, what are we talking about?
please tone down the sensual male model expression?
And it's like, what sex? He's just talking. You're just gay. Like, what do you mean? Can we turn down the sexiness of this fucking dude? It's like just a guy standing there. It's like, dude, if you're gay, just come out. It's fine. I'm not going to judge you. But how is that a criticism against the movie just because you're turned on by this? Do they expect me to be Peter Parker or something like that? Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
She's going to be home from school. I don't want her seeing this shit.
In this scene, he is trying to have a romantic moment with Gwen. So he's trying to look attractive. Lower voice, and I keep blushing. Oh, wait, Queen. Just wait. Watch this.
I don't know. Just,
This is what pisses me off. In this scene, he is doing this intentionally because he is trying to rizz up Gwen. And not only is he trying to do that, but in this moment, the second after he stops doing this face, you can see him like kind of turning a little awkward now because he's like, did I do that right? She immediately chuckles because she thinks it's funny. Holy shit, he talks. I'm so turned on. You're so real. Average conservative politician. You're so right.
So in the first flash,
I'm creaming. It's like, yeah, he's attractive, but it's like the whole point of that scene. He's trying to make a face. Other scenes, he's just talking. Like, what are you talking? You're just, dude, if you're turned on by dudes, that's fine. That's not a criticism against the movie, though.
scene, it's not even Peter Parker being picked on. It's some random fucking kid. This
Okay, why is that a problem?
is like the first red flag of the movie.
Okay, why?
If Peter's not even the guy being picked on, then something's not right here.
Okay, first of all, why does he have to be the first one being picked on? Second of all, he immediately gets his ass kicked seconds after that scene. Not even after that scene, after that shot that we just saw. He tells Flash to put him down, and then he calls him Eugene because that's his real name. And Flash gets pissed off, drops the kid, goes and goes kicking Peter's ass. Why is the actor making me boing boing? Like I said, being attractive is not an issue. Like we went over before, he's hot in the... Exactly.
Honestly, I think the thing is, Andrew Garfield is way too tall and way too good looking to be held upside down by his fucking underwear.
He's not being held up by his underwear. I know it's like a moot point. It's like, oh wow, what a good job, and good job countering that one, Pertlite. But I just think it's funny. It's like, just no. I'd be mad too if my name was Eugene. Not gonna lie, it'd say valid.
So it just wouldn't have worked out.
Okay, I believe, yeah, it probably is that Peter is too tall, because how the fuck would Flash Thompson realistically then in that situation flip Andrew Garfield? You know what I mean? You know how stupid these points get when you start thinking about them for even a second? It's like, well, he couldn't even do that. It would look too silly. Yeah, it would look silly. So why would he do it? How would he do that? No, he just kick his ass, which, by the way, he does. Bro didn't redraft his script for real.
So Peter goes to Oscorp to meet Dr. Connors because of some weird shit with his dad. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, this is what I was talking about earlier. It doesn't matter. No, it literally is the reason why he's going up to him. See, when you just remove shit from the movie like you wanted to earlier by saying, oh, you can just remove everything we're doing his dad. Everything revolving around his dad, you can just remove it and the movie stays the same. Yeah, when you do that, things don't tend to make a lot of fucking sense, do they, Cosmonaut? In this scene, he's going to Connors because he finds out that Dr. Connors, the guy in the photo with his dad, that's Peter Parker's dad. This is Dr. Connors. He finds out that guy is Dr. Connors. He works at Oscorp, which is where Peter's dad used to work. So he goes there to talk to him and ask questions. For fuck's sakes, watch the movie. Reminds that Flash time as a 30-year-old high school bullying 20-year-olds. You're so real. One vague memories from funk edits made by Indians. You're so real.
What does matter is that Peter sneaks into this demonstration by stealing somebody else's intern badge. Then we have to watch that kid who earned his right to be there while he's dragged out screaming. That's fucked up. So then...
Yeah. Yep. Peter's not a good guy in this scene. The movie doesn't even try to justify it. It like try to plays it off a little comedically, sure, but that's very easy to just argue. It's fucked up that Peter's doing this. Peter doesn't care though. He's willing to burn everything around him to get answers about his father. Again, this is my problem with this video. When you remove shit regarding Peter Parker's father, things don't make any fucking sense. Why would Peter do that? That's really mean and shitty. Yeah, but when you realize that the answers to your father who went missing decades ago, and you, or not decades, a decade ago, you finally had the chance to get answers to what happened to him. Are you gonna let a fucking single guy losing an internship get in the fucking way? Really? Dude, answers to lifelong mysteries that you had, it's like, you're gonna fucking say, fuck it, I don't care. Keep in mind, Peter at this point is jaded by the whole world bullying him and picking on him and treating him like trash. Why the fuck would he care what other people think? Why would he give a shit? He saw the point and called it an issue. You're so right. I need your opinion on this shirt. Let's move this over here. Let's see this. Holy fuck, that is badass. That is so badass, dude. Holy fuck, I would wear that shit in a second. I would wear that shit in an instant, in fact.
Peter follows this random dude and sneaks into this facility for almost no reason. He came here to see Dr. Connors, but he kind of just goes off and gets himself into danger.
The guy, the random guy Peter bumps into, and he drops a folder which had symbols on it that his dad's notes had, which obviously implies this guy's working on something that his dad worked on. So Peter follows him and watches him type on a keypad, go in, and then leave with another scientist, and then he goes in after them to see what his dad worked on before he went missing. Again, he's looking for answers about his dad.
I thought the goal was to talk to Dr. Connors because you thought he had a connection to your dad. How is there nobody else in this part of the facility? How...
So again, this is the one of the critiques that's almost valid, except the way he says it makes me like kind of confused because like, well, that's not necessarily the problem here.
How come he can just walk into the spider lair without anybody noticing? Anyway, just
Okay, so let me explain. This room is locked behind a fucking weird ass keypad that you need a very hyper specific set of motions to activate. The only reason Peter gets in is because he watches around a corner and watches the guy put in the numbers, or not the numbers, but does the fucking motion. It's like a weird touchpad thing. It's super weird. So it is locked behind a super secure door. It's a locked heavy door. And what happens is the scientist that was in there is leaving for a moment. Now, here's what I'll say. Why is there no cameras in there? That is a little weird. It's a little bit weird that there's no keypad on the other door. But again, if there's a keypad behind the door that is to the whole facility, why there's no need to put another keypad on the inside necessarily, right? You could for extra security, that is valid. But again, no one's even over here. Do I have a fucking dent on my head? I'm sorry, I just know. Do I have a dent on my head? Holy fuck, I have a giant dent on my head. What is that? Dude, am I fucking crazy? Is there a giant dent on my head? What is that? What the fuck? Why do I have a dent on my head, dude? That's wild. I have a huge dent on my head. I think I got hit with something. Bro got bonked on the noggin with a comedically large mallet. I must have. Do you guys see it? It's right here. That's rough, dude. Holy shit. Anyways.
despite all that, the movie is now going to remind us that it was edited by...
Oh, I don't think I actually finished my point. Yeah, the reason why there's no cameras in there is because that's it's super secretive shit. They don't want any chance of it leaking out, so they don't put security cameras back there. Don't get me wrong, not a super strong point, but it's enough of a point that I can go, okay, fair enough. When you're independent woman, your needs no man. So real.
Who the fuck cut that sequence together? That was horrible. Which one of you was it?
Okay, why is it horrible?
Somebody has to explain themselves. Now, this scene is almost enjoyable, but the editing is so fucking bad that I can't even have fun watching it.
Okay, why is the editing bad, Cosmonaut?
The idea here is that Peter just got bitten by the spider and his powers are kicking in on the subway ride home, so he's basically accidentally fighting people.
I'm so sorry.
I almost like this scene, but editing is very important. Like,
Okay.
every time an attack lands, the screen goes black.
Okay, so the whole point of the editing being very frantic, and this is the one point I think I gave him on the entire thing, where I was like, that is actually somewhat valid. It is almost, because I don't think the editing is that great here. I don't think it is either. However, it's not supposed to be this fucking perfectly easy to see scene, because the entire point of this, where did this come from? So this is after he got bit by a spider. He goes home on like the subway, and he like, a guy puts a random fucking douchebag just puts his beer on his head because he's fucking with Peter, because Peter's asleep. He puts his beer on his head, and like a little condensation water droplet falls onto his head. He wakes up and fucking smacks it off because spider sense kicking off. And then all this shit kind of just goes crazy from here. So the reason why it's so frantically edited is because, again, he's just got his powers. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. His body is moving faster than his own mind is processing. His body is doing shit that he is not doing. You could say that their method and try to depict the state of confusion now and where is not your favorite method, but it's kind of worked. Exactly. Yeah. It's like, sure, it could be better, but I don't think it's like, that's just like, okay, you got 1 point. Sure. In only one scene where it's intentional and it's not supposed to be super great, or not super great, but it's not supposed to be super cohesive. You're supposed to have a little bits of flickering and weirdness. It's supposed to be that. My bad for taking a bit to read. My brain's kind of slow right now. You're good. I don't know. Jasmine, I just thought I was feeling nice. Hey, Jasmine, you're beautiful, by the way. I don't know if I told you that. Anyways.
It looks like a mistake. That doesn't look like it's there on purpose. So Peter Parker is like in his house now, and he doesn't know how to control his strength. And this is actually a really cute scene.
I do like this scene. It's a really good scene.
This is the one first good...
Again, comedy. There's a comedy scene in the movie. It's crazy. We're finding all these comedy scenes in the film.
Good scene in the movie. Another scene I like is where Peter uses his new powers to beat Flash Thompson at basketball.
And Blue Flash. Exactly. It would be insane. But it's not. It's real life, so they have to find other ways to depict it. Again, I think it does a decent enough job. I can agree that maybe it could be a lot better, but it's not bad. It's just like, Yeah, you could do better with it. You could do a lot more with it, but I don't think they. I think they saw it and was like, this is gonna be a super short scene. It's not gonna be super long, and we just need to convey this message in the most simple, by the books way possible. And I think they did a good job with that.
I really like the scene, but because it's fucking hilarious.
Also, what does edited by 3 people have to do with anything? Does this guy not understand how editing works? Editing with three people. What does that have to do with it? That's I think what he was trying to do there, he's trying to use that thing that people do all the time where like, this movie was written by 4 people. You know that argument? Which I think is almost valid, except until you realize that writing credits don't mean literally who wrote the movie usually. Usually writing credits go to people who helped with the writing and the script and all that, or like formatting. Those people who tend to get credits for writer's roles. If they worked on the script, they get writer credit. That's kind of how that works. So everyone has varying degrees of like input on that. You can have as little as 1 fucking writer, but 3 people who did a lot of working on the script to kind of get it more formatted. More people equals better editing. Legitimately, so I do kind of agree with you, Queen. No, don't get me wrong. To a certain degree, you can have too many editors. I do agree, and then to the point where like everyone's editing feels kind of disjointed. But if 3 is like the perfect amount for a fucking big budget film, like a huge big budget blockbuster movie, yeah, you're gonna want 3 editors. It's more so about how one sequence is drawing from the other. No, exactly. I totally hear that. But again, I think it does it well. So I don't think you can blame 3 editors on that. Doesn't make sense. Do you really think 1 editor worked on 1 scene and that's all they did? Like, come on. I get the idea behind the criticism, but it's only valid in bad films. With good films, you can have a billion editors. Exactly. But even then, to me, it's like, I think that inherently, by the fact that it can be like only in bad films, that makes it bad criticism then. Because you need to quantify it. Why does having more editors make it bad? Here we go, for example. If one movie has really shitty editing and they have 50 editors, I'm okay with you being like, the reason why having more editors in this situation was bad was because the editing is so disjointed, it is clear that no one was in the same room when they were editing their scenes. That's valid criticism. But just going, it has a lot of editors, so it's bad. That's not valid criticism. You know, I get what you're saying, though. I'm not saying you're wrong. Again, it's like, 3 editors, dude, 1 scene was edited this way. And it's during a scene where the editing is supposed to be very frantic and quick-paced and very choppy. That's intentional. So I don't think it's an editing mistake. I think that was very much intended. But anyways.
Basketball scenes in superhero movies are always comedy gold. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Now, a lot of other critics have talked about...
He doesn't even explain why this scene is bad. He goes, I like this scene, but not because I actually like it, but because it's really funny. And I think what he means by that is he's trying to laugh at the scene, not because it's good, but because it's so laughably bad. Okay, so let's get into this. So you're criticizing the movie for a scene, and your only thing is it looks funny. Keep in mind, Peter Parker is what everyone considers to be a normal high school student who just leapt 10 fucking feet in the air and then slam dunks on someone and then rips the fucking board off the wall. Why is that so? Dude, it's gonna look goofy. This...
Are you
fucking kidding? Yeah, a high schooler leaping through the air would look really silly. Yes. Like, what?
Me? Now, a lot of other critics have talked about this.
Remember he's exactly 100%.
Between Gwen and Peter are actually the one good thing in this series, and I disagree.
I disagree too. I think there's a lot of great things in this series. Even the worst movie, I think, has a lot of good shit in it. But
here they're annoying because they're too cute.
Not beating the gay allegations, is he? This guy just loves men. They're too cute. I need 2 guys making out stat. I can't watch this shit. Fucking heterosexuals. Ugh. Ugh. Get out of here. I need 2 guys kissing immediately. Stat. This was me in my prime. You're so real.
You know what I mean? Which leads to these scenes being really fucking long and consisting of what I can only assume is just Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone ad-libbing.
Okay, these scenes are not super long, first of all. They're not. They never are. 2, they tend to be used there for character development so that we can have characters who feel more, you know, in like depth. There's more depth in the characters. They're deeper. You kind of want that with a character. You know, you want them to be very interesting and dynamic usually. Sometimes you can have a very static character, but you want a very dynamic and interesting one. It's more interesting to watch. So yes, these scenes tend to exist because you want to you really deepen their relationship. Because it helps.
And just making shit up. And it just goes on for so long.
Character. It's My uncle,
We are gonna skip this.
he must have seen.
Again, also this scene is like very funny. Legitimately, this scene is very funny.
I was
It's a very funny scene. Again, comedy. There's comedy. There's a lot of comedy in this movie.
Because we just got to get it.
All right,
Move on, please. Then we
There we go.
get to the scene where Uncle Ben
I only skipped it because I don't want copyright shit.
needs to get killed because we just got to get it out of the way. Peter's just kind of flip-flopping between being a nice guy and being an asshole. It doesn't really seem like he even likes his uncle and his aunt.
The absolute damage that has been done to this movie because you decided that the parent subplot was not important is fucking insane to me. He doesn't see Uncle Ben as his dad in this moment. This is his breaking point because his uncle withheld certain information about his dad and then in this scene tried to use his own father as an example of how to be a better man. And Peter gets pissed off because he's a high schooler with angst and goes, okay, yeah, you know what? That's good advice for my dad. You know, where is he then? Where's my fucking dad? And then Uncle Ben tries to go, well, how dare you? And he's like, no, how dare you? And he fucking storms out. Peter made a mistake because in this scene, he decided to stay late with Dr. Connors at Oscorp to help him come up with what's it called? Basically the fucking shot that uses lizard DNA to give him an arm because Dr. Connors is missing an arm for anyone who doesn't know. So the whole point is he stayed late. Aunt May then had to walk several blocks home. Uncle Ben's pissed off and he tells him, dude, if you are told to do something, you have or if you have the ability to do something, it is your responsibility to do it, not choice. Great power comes with great responsibility. That's the whole point of this scene. And that's his dad's quote. And that's when Peter gets pissed off and storms out. It makes sense. Flash is my hero because he isn't built like a femboy with soft hands who wants to touch me and take my guns away. Maybe even give me soft kisses on the cheek for like agreeing with Cosmonaut VC for you have whistle blown. No.
Then they have a fight and Peter runs away. So when Peter...
So yeah, again, my point is that you're an idiot. You clearly didn't watch the film. He does not like his Uncle Ben very much in the scene. He's been pushed further and further away because he's trying to find the father he always wanted. He's trying to find his dad. He's trying to find answers. That's the whole point. It's like, whoa, okay, doesn't that kind of go against your point earlier about over-romanticizing the parents? No, because the parents themselves are not being fucking over-romanticized. It's the point of Peter's progression as a character. I'm not watching The Boys Season 5. I refuse to watch it. I refuse. I'm not going to watch it. Season 4, the quote, the things that the director was saying about certain characters really bothered me. Like how we're like okay with Huey getting molested and raped, right? Not raped, but sexually assaulted. It's like, that's okay. Oh no, he does get raped actually. That one chick fucking pretends to be Starlight, whatever the fuck. Yeah, I refuse to watch that show. I don't support it. Plus, I don't support it. That show is so hypocritical, dude. The whole show's like anti-consumer, but it's on fucking Amazon. Like, go blow me forward and back. What are you talking about? I refuse to watch it. Anyways.
He goes to the store to buy milk. And then a very confusing scenario happens. So Peter goes to the store, he wants to buy his milk, but he doesn't have 2 cents. So he tries to steal 2 pennies out of the little take a penny, leave a penny thing. Then the guy says no, because obviously that's not how it works.
Okay. It's not obvious to a high schooler. You see take a penny, leave a penny. You know.
No. You can leave a penny. You can't take a penny.
What?
You can leave a penny anytime. You have to spend $10 to take a penny.
What?
You can't afford your...
Yeah, there's a funny little edit here.
What?
But Daddy didn't give you enough milk money today?
What?
It creates this strange scenario because on one hand, Peter's being a huge dick, but the other guy's...
He's not being a huge dick. He's very rationally pissed off because of the argument he just had with Uncle Ben, and this guy's being an asshole to him, so he's throwing some sass right back at him. That is totally fucking... That's absolutely a reasonable reaction.
also being a huge dick.
Okay, that guy's being a huge dick because he's a fucking New Yorker. Have you ever been to New York or interacted with someone from New York? They don't, I mean, from New York's a little bit different, but in New York, they're assholes. They don't give a shit about you. There's millions of people in New York. They don't fucking care. Not even obvious to me. Never seen that system before. Exactly.
So Peter's like, okay, I can't buy my milk, so he goes to leave. Then the next customer knocks this thing over so that he can steal money from the register, and then he gives Peter the milk. Okay, it makes sense so far. So then Peter's about to leave, and the shopkeeper runs out, and he's like, hey, stop that guy.
That was like a slight charity thing for if you're off by a few cents, you can take someone. Exactly. No, 100%. Yeah. Dude, that's what I always thought it was. And I think that is the idea, but I think the idea is you have to spend at least $10 to do it. So do I agree. That's why I think Peter's absolutely fucking reasonable to do that in that scene. He's absolutely right. It's reasonable.
Hey, random dude who I just talk shit to, can you please assist me in apprehending a criminal?
He's not asking him to do that. He's saying, hey, a little help. Because he wants Peter to call the police. That is very much what is implied in this scene. Why the fuck would the guy ask a random high schooler who's just shitty to fucking help him beyond calling the police? Hey, dude, this guy just robbed me. Could you call the police? Is almost literally what he's saying. No, he says, you got a little help? He obviously isn't saying chase the guy down. And if he is going to chase him down, it's like, don't fucking run after him or anything, but like track him where he's going. Call the police, help. Then Peter hits him with a very fucking sassy response, which is not my policy.
Why would anybody do that? Even if you didn't call him a fucking idiot 10 seconds before, no customer would help you chase after an armed
He's not asking you to chase, he's asking you to call the fucking police.
thief. So anyway, this is where
Stop right there, criminal scum.
the weirdest shit happens.
Okay, here we go.
Run.
So this scene, I think Jig and I spent 10 fucking whole minutes analyzing this scene because everyone criticizes this scene how stupid it is. Here's my point. I will say this right now. Uncle Ben does do something kind of stupid here. I won't lie. This scene does not work as well as it could have been. And I think it comes down to editing and direction. I think there was a fuck up with the editing in this scene. I do. I will admit. Because after watching this scene again, I'm going to let it play out first.
A block down the street, and then he trips, and his gun falls out of his pocket or whatever. But Uncle Ben's right in front of him, so he screams and tries to go for the gun.
Okay. I actually don't think there was a mistake in editing. I totally fucking forgot how this is paced. Yeah, no, so he sees the guy get up and grab a gun that he just dropped. Uncle Ben probably thinks this guy who was running, looked like a criminal, by the way, running away, falls in front of him, drops a gun, and the guy looks at Uncle Ben, looks back down, and then starts scrambling to grab the gun. Uncle Ben in this moment, admittedly, probably thinks he's about to get shot, which this guy was probably going to do that. I'm assuming that is the implication there. This shows how Kaza isn't an American, and that piece of paper that he says he is worthless. You're so right. You're so right. It doesn't, well, Jig, don't you know that piece of paper doesn't even matter to Cosmonaut's life? It doesn't matter. It's totally irrelevant. It's totally irrelevant. It doesn't even matter. You can just cut it out. Change it to anything else. It could just be a paper about how he's fucking, you know, fucking Chinese or something, dude. Obviously. But I think the implication here is very much so that he saw him reach for the gun, thought he was probably going to try to attack him, and Uncle Ben goes, hey! And then reaches to grab the gun and try to disarm him. It would have been different if they made him dark skinned. You're so right, Jake. You're so right.
And tries to go for the gun.
Again, he's not going for the gun. He's trying to stop him from fucking shooting. It's trying to protect himself. Now, I agree that this is shot and edited weirdly, and I think what happened here, if I had to guess, I think there was some fuck ups with editing, and I think the direction was not there. I think what was supposed to be implied here again is that he's reaching for the gun. He's going to go pull it up on Uncle Ben, and then Uncle Ben is supposed to reach over and stop him. Not justifying it. This is a valid criticism of this scene being kind of weird, but the amount of weight he puts on it, it's like, dude, okay. The scenes, like the context around the scene still can work. It's just the pacing of it doesn't work very well. So it is a criticism, but it's like, okay, it's just not that big. You know what I mean? It's a pretty small thing because you get what they're trying to convey. The guy was going to go try to shoot Uncle Ben, and Uncle Ben was trying to stop him. That's all it is.
Why did you do this?
He's trying to protect his life. He probably thought the guy was going to shoot him.
Nobody was in any danger.
Uncle Ben was the one in danger, you fucking idiot.
Were you trying to die?
No, he was trying not to die by protecting his vital organs.
So yeah, that's how Uncle Ben dies. Like a fucking idiot.
Again, you can argue he's an idiot. I guess that's valid enough, but... like, okay. I think it's a very human thing to do. You see a guy reaching for a gun, you go to try and stop him. I think that's a very human thing to do. I do. I think what he does there is very human. I think the pacing's a little weird, but I don't think what he did was entirely wrong. I think it's the pacing of how it happens. Against all the race statistics.
After that, we have a scene where Flash Thompson...
I really like this scene. Really good scene.
And I actually like this part. 2 good scenes so far. But then, this movie commits what I consider to be the biggest sin
Here we go.
in this small series.
Here we go. Biggest sin.
Peter's entire motivation for becoming Spider-Man, for putting on the mask and swinging around, is not, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. I need to...
Okay. Okay. You're right. It's not that. So let's hear why.
People. He does this out of revenge.
You know what he does it in the comic for? Because everyone seems to fucking forget his origin. Peter puts on the costume and starts web swinging and doing shit for money and selfishness and ego. He does it because he finds a way to make some quick and easy money, and he's sick and tired of the world kicking him down. He doesn't give a shit about the world around him. He's willing to let it burn as long as his Uncle Ben and Aunt May can live happily with his money that he is earning. He treats people like shit. He lets criminals get away because he doesn't care. Even after Uncle Ben is capped, he tries to cash in checks he earned from doing like talk shows and wrestling and shit, and he can't because he has to have the check cashed out in his name, so he can't make any money off of it. Biggest sin is putting on the mask for selfish reasons. Wait a minute, that's like the comics. Exactly. It's literally the exact same concept. It's for selfish reasons. That's the entire reason why he does it in the movie as well.
He scours the streets looking for Uncle Ben's killer. He assaults random people. He makes a costume.
Again, assaults random people. It's like, okay, sure, but they're all criminals or people who are being fucking really facetious. This guy was talking to his girl and like pushing her up against a wall and threatening her. Like very obviously. That's why Peter chose him in that moment.
So the people he beats up won't recognize him and call the police.
Bro learned what a fucking superhero is. He learned what his secret identity is. Yeah, he wears a mask so people don't know who he is. That's how secret identities work, you fucking idiot. What do you mean?
This is for real. I can't make this up.
Yeah, I wouldn't want you to make this up because that's what a fucking secret identity is, you fucking asshole.
Spider-Man makes his costume in this movie so people won't recognize him for his crimes.
You sound like a fucking idiot, bro. What?
This movie treats this as a heroic moment. He's finally Spider-Man. He's doing his thing.
No, it doesn't. This shot right here, actually, he literally in this shot has a musical theme that backs him that is so haunting. It sounds like maybe a little bit high, like, you know, triumphant, but that's not necessarily a good thing. Triumphant can be a bad thing. If a bad guy's triumphant, you don't want that. You know what I mean? In this scene, Peter is very much backed by a fucking haunting track. It goes, ha, ha. It's not like this big, great thing. Like, it's very obvious you're not supposed to be rooting for him here yet. You're not, because what he's doing is not okay. And the whole point of the dinner scene with not Uncle Ben, Captain Stacy, the whole point of that scene is so that we can see Peter be like, oh, fuck, okay, I have been doing this wrong.
But he's not doing it for the right reasons. And as an audience member, you can tell.
Yeah, you fucking idiot. That's intentional, you fucking moron. Peter, after Uncle Ben died, I am Retep, and I am evil. Such a good fucking stupid joke. Wasn't it triumphant since he has the suit and believes he is good? That too. Yeah, absolutely. Again, that's what I'm saying. It can be a little triumphant. That's absolutely true. But the whole reason why is because he believes what he's doing is right. But it has a very haunting... I'm going to pull up the fucking clip. I'm so confident in this. I'll pull up the goddamn clip. Becoming Spider-Man scene TASM. I cannot. Here we go. Right here. Like, it is a little triumphant, don't get me wrong. But it doesn't feel like heroic. There's a level of fucking haunting kind of feeling to it. Like, this isn't fully right. He's on the first step of his journey. He's not in a good position yet. That's the whole point.
It doesn't feel...
Whatever, what do I know?
It's tonally off here.
Yeah, it's almost like that's the fucking point, Cosmonaut! It's almost like you didn't watch the fucking movie! Like, I guess when Dark Souls games can have triumphant tracks when you at times commit atrocities. Exactly.
One of the things that bothers me the most is that he's not even stopping some of these criminals. He lets some of them go because they're not the guy he wants to kill.
You only ever see this guy right here is the only one that actually 100% runs away. And you don't see him fully stop the guy.
Thing because of selflessness.
Okay. Problem is, we see him deliver one of these guys to the NYPD, webbed up. And it is very obvious, at least to me, that if he's doing that with one guy, he could be doing that with all of these guys. You don't see him directly do it. That doesn't mean it's not happening. That's like saying Peter doesn't fucking stop the criminals in Spider-Man 1 during his intro sequence because we never fucking see him, the guys who are robbing that one store, we never see him fully arrest them. He just beats them up and then fucking swings away. Well, the implication is obviously there.
I cannot express how much I hate this. It really fucks with me. Oh, also, I should mention
Cry. You can't fucking take anything that isn't just fucking flashing colors at you. You're an idiot.
that the Spider-Man suit in this movie looks like fucking shit.
Wrong. It looks awesome. You're wrong. And it's objective, so fuck you. I think the fucking MCU suits look like shit. I think the one from Civil War looks decent because of the colors, and it's a CGI suit. Then we got Homecoming. Homecoming looks like shit because the colors are so fucked on the costume. The blues are way too bright, and they have way too many black lines on the blue. The back spider also looks way too slim. It's like an oval. It's not a proper circle. It looks like shit. The fucking the Spider-Man suit. Oh fuck, what's it called? The Iron Spider suit from the MCU movies look like shit. It looks horrible. It looks actually atrocious. It is the worst suit he wears in those movies. It actually makes the scenes with him almost impossible to watch for me because of how bad that suit looks. My only gripe is yellow lens. Yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, some of the glove thing, but it works because it's made from other stuff. Exactly. No, exactly. I am willing to let the fucking the glasses, the yellow lenses, I'm willing to let that one slide because I've already said this before. I think it works for when he's supposed to be in his villain arc, but in my opinion, on the bridge, his mask should have gotten damaged in some way, and when he should have changed the lenses to be silver, like reflective, so that it matches more of the proper now he's a hero moment. That's what I think. It also would have fit the marketing too, because in the marketing he doesn't have like full yellow. Well, some of the marketing he does, but still, that's fair. You're not liking the yellow lenses is totally valid. I think that is 100% fair. Other than that, the rest of the suit looks fucking awesome. It's actually such a clean suit.
It's awful. He also doesn't do the fucking Spider-Man web.
This is bullshit and a lie. Throughout the entire movie, he is doing this. He is doing this throughout the entire movie. It's the scene, the first scene where we see him in the full Spidey getup doing this. He doesn't do it in every single fucking shot. Like right here, he does it like this. So he kind of like just does like this. You go
shooting hand thing half the time. This thing, he doesn't do that half
it's like, yeah, he's doing like you just grab it really quick.
the time.
It also could just be the angle. In this shot, you could see him doing it.
I expect.
You can literally see him doing it for just like, it's a quick second. It's like this. But he's doing it.
This is a Spider-Man. He doesn't do that half the time. That's the only thing.
You can literally see his fingers and fucking thumb come out.
Spider-Man movie. This is what his hand looks like. This is what.
You're fucking wrong, Cosmonaut. Kind of sounds like Op if you had opinions of the Amazing Spider-Man. And I know you said bad opinions. I just said opinions because it's Op. Let's be real. All you had to say was Op, and I would have been like, yes. It could also be the speed of the movement. Exactly.
First thing you have to get right.
I will say in the car, I think he is just doing this. I think he's just flicking the wrist a little bit. Look at the flick of the wrist. But I will give a like 0.001% of a point there. But again, it's fucking one shot. What about the rest of the movie? It's like most of the movie. No, it's not. It's one shot. You have one shot. Any other ones? No? Okay, how convenient.
It's the first fucking thing! So Andrew Garfield has the Spider-Man suit. He has his web shooters. He's confident in his abilities. This is the first scene with him, and he comes across as a fucking villain.
Okay. First of all, fuck you, no he doesn't. No, he does not. He does not come across like a fucking villain in this scene. What he does come across in this scene is first of all, it is the most accurate fucking Spider-Man ever put to film. Ever adapted is this scene. This is Spider-Man. He really is. Even the more vengeful aspect is perfect for an early Spider-Man. It's actually perfect. If you don't think this scene fits Spider-Man, you don't know anything about Spider-Man, and you don't deserve to ever talk about him as a comic book character again. Until you read up, of course. Garfield was trying to grab and pull it and kind of missed on doing the gesture in the moment since his acting was good compared to some other takes. I don't know. No, dude, absolutely. I'm not Jig. I fully agree. No matter what, there's no way you can spin that to make it be like, well, it's like, dude, no matter what, it's a stupid point to make. One shot, he doesn't do it. Even if he full on never did it because the whole thing is he just forgot to do it for any reason. It doesn't fucking matter because he does it for 99% of the other fucking times he does it.
He's not funny.
He's hilarious. The scene is objectively funny. Fuck you. I don't care. I will say it. This scene is actually funny. He's just fucking with this dude after he's a criminal trying to steal someone's car. Why are you sympathizing with him this much? He deserved to get his ass kicked a bit.
Jackass. And then he even says he would have beat the shit out of this guy if it was the person he was
It actually implies he would kill him. And again, this is vengeful, rageful Peter Parker who's trying to find the man who killed his uncle and kill him. That is very much what's supposed to happen here.
For.
Oof. This could have gotten a lot worse. Now hold still.
It's very funny. When he says, no, hold still. And then he pokes holes in his nose so he can breathe. It's fucking hilarious. That's Spider-Man. Spider-Man's not nice to criminals. I don't know who came up with that. Spider-Man's also just not really that nice at all. No one really likes Spider-Man except for like Captain America. Captain America loves Spider-Man because he sees a kid who's just trying to do good. And it's like he sees through all the jokes and the bullshit. He does. Dude, Captain America fucking loves Spidey because of that. Because he sees a kid who's just trying to do the right thing. That's why Captain America really likes Spider-Man. And that's why this is, again, whatever. What do I know, right?
This is not Spider-Man.
It is. It's literally Spider-Man. Not really nice to even heroes. Exactly. Dude, Iron Man comes up to him asking for help, and Spidey tells him to go fuck himself. And then Iron Man's like, okay, listen, dude, you literally, like, don't ever hang out with us. Why not? And he's like, Mix, I don't fucking like you billionaire douchebags, tinhead. Now fucking blow me. He hates Iron Man. He dislikes the X-Men. He rocks with the Fantastic Four. They as homies, even he does come off as a little leechy since he broke. Dude, even with the fucking Fantastic Four, he treats them like shit in his early years. He's like constantly talking shit to them. Constantly. Dude, he goes to Johnny Storm's having a party. Spidey breaks in just to rizz up his girl, steals Johnny's girl, and then when Johnny starts fucking chasing after him because he's pissed off, he starts chasing after him. Spidey is dodging him and just shit-talking him the whole time. He had no reason to do it. He just does it for the love of the game. Like, he's an asshole to people. He is. This is not Spider-Man. It literally is. Spider-Man is literally on screen right now, and you're going to tell me that too. That is true too. But still, even regardless, like, even in the metaphorical meaning, it's like, no, he is. He's absolutely Spider-Man. Anyways.
Somebody needs to stop this menace.
That bit right there too. The guy goes, you in the tights. He's like, seriously? Like, he doesn't get it.
I'm going to take a little break here.
We're going to skip this because this point is just even remotely this.
It's
It's just unfair. Like, what's the word I'm looking
I'm not
for?
going to spoil who it is because Spider-Man stories.
It's like comparing two things that are not even remotely close. The whole thing is Doc Ock took over Peter Parker's brain in this scene. Right, in this comic line, he takes over Peter Parker's brain and is controlling his body. And this whole point here is, well, he's treating Peter Parker's acting like an asshole. It's like, okay, this doesn't work because Peter's not just being an asshole. He's flirting with other women in front of Mary Jane. He's telling cops that they can't do their fucking job right because they're idiots, all cops, and that he's better than all of them. And even that, to a certain degree, is something that Peter would do. But what's wrong about it, what's fucking weird, is that this is years. Decades into being Spider-Man. Decades. He's been Spider-Man for fucking decades at this point. I really cannot emphasize this enough. He's been Spider-Man for a long time. People know how he acts. Sure, he talks shit. Sure, he'll fucking tell you you're an idiot if you're an idiot. But telling cops who are doing a good enough job as is, like, they're doing decent, they're not doing a bad job, he like openly shit talks them. Saying that he's perfect and that they'll never be as good as him. It's like, okay, that's a little egotistical. That's a little weird. That's a little off-putting for Peter. And then he flirts with other women in front of MJ. That's not right at all. It's why Peter seems as super reliable to nerds. Nerds, geeks, dorks can act like assholes, be selfish, while also wanting to be a hero and some shit and all that. Exactly.
Know that something isn't right because you're so familiar with...
Again, but even with his argument here where you know something's not right because, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, again, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, You know he's not the right Spider-Man because this is early in his career when he's still learning with what great power comes great responsibility actually means.
Eyes on your expectations of how Peter Parker is. What I'm trying to say is that this is the problem these movies have. If you don't get Peter Parker right, people aren't going to be sold. You're not going to get people to like these movies. It may seem like a small thing, but like I said, the little shit adds up. Now we get to another part of the movie that I like. It's just this shot of Dr. Connors looking at the reflection of his...
This is a really good shot.
I think this is really cool. Anyway, now we have another scene of romantic ad-libbing.
Yeah, they're beautiful, right?
They're beautiful.
There's another funny scene. And dude, this scene's like 30 seconds long.
Beautiful.
I'm sorry.
Versus Peter being an asshole, guys like, exactly. And again, it's like Peter's being really mean to it's like, dude, yeah, that's the point. He's not fully mastered what it means with great power comes great responsibility.
It's impressive. They actually held together very well.
I also love...
And it's like, dude, we get it. You're gay. You don't like seeing heterosexual romance. We got it. You don't have to fucking criticize the movie for it just because you're in the closet.
Love how Captain Stacy describes Spider-Man in this movie.
He's an amateur who's assaulting civilians in the dead of night. He's clumsy, he leaves clues, but he's still dangerous.
Yeah, you said it, brother. Fuck Spider-Man. That guy's a mess.
Yes, that is the point. You fucking idiot. This is the scene where Peter realizes, fuck, maybe I've been doing this really wrong. False equivalencies. Yeah, there we go. Apples, oranges. Yes, thank you. False equivalence. Yes.
And since that scene's over, we have to go back to Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield making strange, inhuman noises at each other.
Again, when you present it like this, yeah, sure, this scene is a little goofy. You know what the problem is with this scene? You know what the problem is with this? And why Cosmonaut's a fucking piece of shit for this? Because in this scene, he's trying to fucking find the way to tell her that he's Spider-Man. He wants to tell her because he loves her. So he's trying to find a way to do it. He's trying to find the words.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
No. Don't. It's impossible.
Just... What?
Again, you could do this with any scene in any movie. Just cut out everything else. It's like just mumbling. It's like, dude, you can understand every word they're saying here.
What?
He's trying to find the courage to tell her, to find the words.
So after that, the lizard attacks people on a bridge and Peter saves them and he finally learns how to be a fucking hero. The movie is halfway over and Peter Parker finally learned.
It's almost like it's his arc, you fucking idiot. The arc starts here, right? It goes to here. Now we're at the middle point here. He's actually realizing how he's been doing things has been wrong and he's starting to change here. This is where he realizes, fuck, I could actually do this. This is the moment we realize he's been searching for the father he was missing dude, this scene's really good. I fucking love this scene. This is probably one of the greatest Spider-Man scenes ever put into movies. I mean that. It is a phenomenally good scene. Really good. Like, it's better than most superhero movies. This scene alone, I think, personally, it's really good. Okay. In this scene, he reunites a son with his father, a moment that he will never have. Especially now, because Uncle Ben was taken from him because he selfishly was looking for another father figure. He realizes in this moment that he needed to stop looking for a father and should have accepted the one he had all along. That is the point of this scene. The scene is fucking beautifully done. It's amazingly done. It's awesome. It's fucking perfect. This scene is another example I always use, by the way, whenever people talk about how, like, oh, you can't express human emotion while wearing a mask. In this scene, you can tell exactly how Peter is thinking and feeling without taking off his mask. The scene is amazing. It's really good. It's really good. Ugh.
How to be a good person. But then after that, the lizard finds out who Spider-Man is because Peter Parker put his name on the camera that he brought to the lizard's secret lair.
Why is that stupid? Quantify that. Well, what if the lizard found... Dude, he didn't know anything about the lizard. No one had a picture of the lizard even. That's why he came down here, because he wanted to get the reward for getting pictures of the lizard. He has that name on there because he's a fucking broke high schooler who loves photography, and cameras are expensive. So if it gets lost, yeah, he wants people to fucking be able to give it back to him. Notebooks have this shit too, where they have a little section at the front where it says, you know, the return address and share phone numbers for the people who this notebook belongs to, because notebooks can be kind of important depending on what you put in them. Just like cameras. Like, this is a totally reasonable thing. He didn't think a giant lizard man was going to rip him apart and throw him into the sewers. He probably didn't think that was going to happen. Like what is stupid about that?
Are you fucking serious? Come on, man.
Easy, bug boy.
Wait, what did you just say?
Easy, bug boy.
She very obviously said easy, bug boy. Very obvious. Very obvious. Like, you can even hear the buh.
Easy, bug boy.
Wait, what did you just say?
Easy, bug boy.
I can't be the only one who heard that. Also, I should mention
It's like, it's a funny bit if that's supposed to be a bit, but if that's an actual criticism, it's just stupid. A deep secret that could ruin it all. Aw, man, really inhuman. Exactly.
that in these movies, the second one included, the effects are pretty good. The lizard looks like a fucking Goomba from the Mario Brothers movie.
He does.
But other than that, things don't look too bad. However, what is bad is the lizard's plan to turn everyone in New York into lizards.
Okay, why is this bad?
I almost can't say that sentence out loud without laughing.
You mean people are pissed off because he tried to turn everyone in New York City into giant lizards?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. So yeah,
By the way, this section about him talking about the Amazing Spider-Man 1 ends in like less than a minute, in like about 40 seconds. He has 40 seconds. He's at the halfway point of the movie, and he just jumps way to the end. Why is that stupid? He doesn't even explain. That's literally what his plan is in the comics. His plan in the comics is to turn everyone into lizard people because he's trying to unite the world despite our differences. That's his whole point.
yeah, Peter Parker beats up the lizard, Captain Stacy dies, and then his dying wish to Peter Parker is
We're just blasting through shit, by the way.
for him not to date Gwen Stacy.
Okay.
Dude, that's cold-blooded. You're gonna do him like that? All right. But what I love in this is that
He doesn't even go over what Connor says about why he wants. Exactly, he doesn't. Nothing about that is explained. When you actually like think about it, it makes sense. And he's just like, well, it's silly. It's so silly. Why? I hate that people criticize this movie for shit like that. You know how many people said that one of the stupidest parts of this movie is trying to turn everyone to lizards? Why is that stupid? Why is that stupid? But fucking aliens flying in from the sky in Avengers is totally fucking reasonable. Like, what are you talking about? How is that fine? I don't know, but it is apparently. That's totally realistic. What are we talking about? It's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Isn't it just dumb? Like, what are we... Like, okay, sure. Yeah, it's a comic book movie. Exactly. It's to unite everyone as one race with physical disabilities no longer existing. The lizard race. It literally, yeah, he literally describes that he wants to get rid of weakness in the human race. That's what he's looking for. That's one of his first lines that you hear from him as a character. Is him talking about how he wants to eliminate weakness. Anyways.
Peter's actually going to go through with this. He actually breaks up with Gwen. But then of all people, Aunt May is the one to tell him, hey man, you should go fuck that girl. And he's like, okay, sure.
You want to know why I hate this video? You want to know why I fucking hate this video? This right here. Okay. Not even remotely close to what Aunt May says. She sees Gwen. Keep in mind, she hasn't met Gwen at this point. She's never met Gwen. She sees Gwen, and Peter, says goodbye to her, saying that I can't be with you. I can't do that. I cannot put you through it. And by the way, through the first time, he's able to look. It's a really good scene. The acting's phenomenal. He's like stuttering throughout most of the movie. He's like a little like nervous. He's always like looking around. In this scene, he's stable. He talks calmly. He doesn't stutter. He's very like still. He's very sincere. It's awesome. And you can see the progression from here to here. It's so good. So in this scene, she watches Gwen walk away, and Aunt May's like, she was pretty. Who was that? And it's like, just a girl. And he's like, she's like, why don't you go talk to her? And Peter's like, she's too good for me. And Aunt May says, Peter Benjamin Parker, if you are anything, it's good. It's a really, really amazing scene that is Aunt May trying to tell him that despite everything that's happened, that he does deserve some light in his life. He does. Because he's lost every father figure he could ever have. He does deserve that happiness. So he goes, you know what? I'm going to break that promise and I'm going to go get with Gwen. That's what it's about. It's a really great scene. It's a really great scene. Thanos wants to wipe out half the galaxy so civilization across the stars can thrive again for years to come and better prepare for overpopulation not to be an issue. Same level of silliness, but people glaze that, and I rock with both of them. Exactly. Dude, no, that's an even better. Actually, that's a perfect example. You know why? Because if you think about it for a few seconds, Thanos' plan makes no sense. There's so many better ways to go about it. Like, why are you killing when you could just enhance everything that already exists, make everything better, make everything more plentiful, make worlds slightly bigger, expand, give the people of Earth the ability to make starship travel and travel across the stars to find other places to live, create landmass for people to live off of. There's just like so many ways you can do it better. But again, it doesn't matter because the whole point is he's a villain and he has a fucking reason for it. His reason it works for his character. It does. Even though this plan itself doesn't make sense, he's not thinking about that. He's thinking about how it works within his perspective. Just like the lizard. But what do I know, right?
I guess you're right. And yeah, that's how the movie ends. With Peter Parker not learning his fucking lesson.
What lesson was he supposed to learn? What lesson did he not learn? He learned every lesson. He learned every lesson. The last thing that happens in this film is him accepting that I'm allowed to be happy. That's the entire point of this. But what do I know, right?
Poor
Peter Parker.
Picked a peck of pickled peppers, 5 out of 10.
And I love how just saying all this shit about it. Like, it's only 5 out of 10. It's like, it's mid. It's not even bad. It's mid. Now, I would go into the second part, which is all of this about the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but honestly, I'm not here for that. I'm here for the Amazing Spider-Man 1, because that's the movie I defend. And I'll defend the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I think it's overhated by a lot of people, but I will say that the movie is bad. It doesn't matter how overhated it is if it's bad, right? This movie, though, I think is a good movie that is way, way overly hated, because people are idiots. But let's go into this video. So this guy, SK, I've seen him before. He's made some videos in the past that I've seen, and I think he's a bit of a dunderhead. A little bit. And I haven't seen too much of his channel, so let's keep that in mind. I'm not trying to be mean. As you can see, I'm not punching down. He has 45.2K, okay? He has videos like Peter Has No Backbone debunked in 12 minutes, which is funny because he absolutely does not in the Insomniac games, but we can ignore that for now. So, he has made some videos, right? And some of them I'm like, no. It's like, he goes debunking the worst Superman review and then goes, can you debunk a reviewer? Like, bro, get off your high horse. But yeah. Anyways, let's do this.
The Amazing Spider-Man is not amazing.
It is.
Certainly had potential, especially with how great of a casting Andrew Garfield is, but
He
they
is.
were a mess in the end and certainly took a hit on my hope for Spider-Man in movies.
Yeah, when it comes to Amazing Spider-Man 2, that movie's dog shit. It's hated by LARPers. It is, yeah, it's hated by LARPers everywhere. But anyways, let's hear him out.
Until Into the Spider-Verse happened.
Hey.
What's especially frustrating about the first one is that there is a good movie in here. It doesn't need to be reworked from the ground up like the sequel does.
I actually agree with that. The second one does need to get reworked from the ground up. There's a lot of good things in the sequel, a lot of good things, but in order for those good things to like actually be elevated to where they need to be, I do think, you need to rework the entire script to a certain degree. Or you can just cut out a bunch of shit and just focus on what's there actually. So maybe not reworking necessarily. Excuse me. Good title potential.
There are a lot of moments in isolation that are good, even amazing in this movie. But that of course doesn't fix the many problems in the story. Let's start off with Kurt Connors, aka the Lizard. The main issues in his plotline.
So this one's gonna be different. I know he goes by like specifically things that he likes or things that are like problems based on categories. And as you can see, it's to me it's a little strange the categories we're going over. So it's the Lizard, Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy, Uncle Ben, Oscorp Makes No Sense, and Captain Stacy. Now I will lie, I have only seen half of this video. And I was like, I need to talk about this because how bad this is. But just from that alone, I'm like, I don't believe you're gonna have very good points. But let's hear what he has to say. Perlite thought Andrew getting webbed all over his face was hot. You're so real.
Are the setup for his origin, the way his character is explored, and his overall plan in the story.
Okay.
Origin for the Lizard doesn't even make any sense.
Okay, the origin for the Lizard does not make any sense. How so? Let's hear it.
The reason he hasn't tested the formula on himself yet is because they haven't done human trials yet.
Yes. Okay.
Human trials up until next week.
However, Ratha disagrees and decides they need to start human trials now, which Kurt refuses because of how dangerous that would be.
Well, it's not that it's dangerous necessarily. I guess that is part of it, but it's that it's untested. They only just started testing on mice, and they only just got it to work on a mouse. So the problem is, that's a giant leap. You got to go to chimps next, and then you can go to people. You know what I mean? Like there's a ladder here. But the guy's so desperate to save Norman Osborn that you have to get this shit accelerated.
Human trials. Where on earth are you going to find the people to volunteer?
As far as anyone's concerned, it's for a winter flu shot. I might think the Veterans Hospital is a place to start.
Okay.
You gotta be kidding me.
I don't think I am.
So right off the bat, this has a lot of problems.
You son of a bitch.
Why does this have problems?
Do you have any idea what kind of trouble you're in?
First of all, why would Rotha ever tell Kurt about this plan?
Why would he tell what? Because he's saying, hey, we need to get this shit we need to start working on human trials, and you're the lead scientist on this project? What? Dr. Connors is the lead scientist on this project, so he's talking to him and say, hey, we need to push this faster. That's why he tells him.
Kurt has made it very clear that he doesn't support human trials against people's consent.
Okay, after the plan is told to him, yes.
It's not just unethical, but it's also highly illegal.
Okay, yes. That makes sense. They want to crack down on forcing it to others. Yeah.
And you're telling him to his face that you're gonna do this by sneaking the formula in winter flu shots for a group of veterans.
Yes, because they're the ones missing limbs, yes.
Kurt can easily dial 911 that you're about to poison people, and the police would immediately interfere so the plan doesn't get carried out.
Okay. No? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Okay. You know what? Let's run this by. Okay. This is the company, by the way, that killed Peter Parker's parents. This is the same company that did that, by the way. So let's run this back. This guy leaves. Dr. Connors picks up the phone, tells him, hey, this guy is going to this place. He's going to drop off this shit. He's going to start fucking giving to everybody. What are the cops supposed to do with that situation? What are they going to do with all that information? So they follow this guy there. They get there. And they're like, hey, is this true? And he's like, well, no, that's not true at all. Cops need a little more fucking evidence. It was a conversation. That's not how that works. That's like the least useful piece of fucking evidence ever. What are the cops gonna do? All he has to do is fucking slip it into his coat jacket and they'll never know he had it on him. What?
What exactly are you going to tell the police when they question you?
They won't question you because it will never get that far. And even if they do, guess what? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, as long as you can say, I don't have anything, see? They'll check your suitcase, slide it into your fucking pocket, and then boom, they'll never fucking know. And then you go and kill Dr. Connors. And Dr. Connors, by the way, you'll later hear his argument here. What's going on? What I miss? Or talking shit about this guy's awful, amazing Spider-Man video. Ugh, this one right here. Ugh. It's a terrible video, but we're getting into it. We only just started, so you're coming at a good time. Pretend this could happen. He tells some whistleblower, and eventually the police and government find out. He'll shut down his research. He is desperate for himself. Exactly, yes. Yeah, absolutely. There's so many levels to why this doesn't make any sense. But again, I think we debunked this one pretty quickly, so let's keep going.
I wanted it to happen. Is that wrong?
Okay, I don't know if he likes this show or not, but the fact that he used that clip did actually I actually had like a vein burst in my brain there for a second from pure rage of hearing this line. I fucking hate this show. Oh my God.
Second of all, how would he pull this off? He would have to drive all the way to the hospital with whatever team he's working with, then inject the formula into the flu shots.
What? Let me run that back.
All the way to the hospital with whatever team he's working with, then inject the formula into the flu shots.
Am I missing something here? Why does this not make sense?
How can he be sure that this would bypass safety inspections before injecting the
This guy is actually the most Redditor shit. He actually just genuinely Poindextered us. He really just went, how does that not breach safety protocols? Have you ever considered that it's a multi-billion-dollar company that can probably pay off the small, tiny little veterans hospital? The evil Indian has connection. Can you do that? Yeah. Yeah, that's like very fucking obvious. This is the same company that killed their lead scientist on the Spider Project and why the Spider Project is at a standstill. He works for a building. Yeah, exactly. Like, what the fuck is what? Actually, that does breach safety protocol written in section 7.BC here, and it says that you cannot inject those serums at Veterans Hospital. So, explain that, amazing Spider-Man. What the fuck are you talking about?
Flu shots. This is gonna sound awful when I say this, but we're talking about villain plans here, and if they make sense. If Ratha wanted...
Also, this guy likes the Superman movie, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. He likes the Superman movie, the James Gunn one. Just want to throw that out there.
To test subjects for discreet experiments, why not use homeless people on the street?
Because they're not missing limbs? What? That guy doing an illegal thing. Does he know it's illegal?
If they disappear, it's not going to raise many eyebrows.
Yeah, but they're not missing limbs.
And you don't have to risk getting caught at the hospital.
Okay, but they're not missing limbs.
Even the Venom movie understood this. They executed the idea of villains using human test subjects in a way that actually makes sense. Third of all, let's say the plan does work, and the lizard formula is used.
I'm sorry, I genuinely glazed over there for a second. Did you just fucking say the Venom movie made more sense than the fucking Amazing Spider-Man?
Disappear, it's not going to raise many eyebrows, and you don't have to risk getting caught at the hospital. Even the Venom movie understood this. They executed the idea of villains.
Are they missing limbs? Do they need to be missing limbs for this? No, they're literally just bodies so that the symbiote can get into. It's a totally false. It's total false equivalence.
Using human test subjects.
Nor would veterans be missing either. That's the sad reality. Yes.
Makes sense. Third of all, let's say the plan.
Also, you're paying off the entire hospital for silence, basically. And just wait till you hear this part.
Does work, and the lizard formula is used on the veterans. Let's even say that the formula is harmless and heals the veterans as planned. You do realize that Kurt's cross-species project is public knowledge, correct?
Okay. What? Okay.
I read your book. Do you really think it's possible, cross-species genetics?
So, if veterans with lost limbs or other visible injuries get miraculously healed after taking the flu shots...
I'm home right now, and I want to go home type vibe right now. That's valid.
You do realize they'll know this was your formula once you actually go public with the project as Kurt intended.
How are they going to know it's your formula if it was in the flu shot? That's first. Second, why would you not buy their silence? Third, more importantly, instead of just buying their silence, you could just, again, kill them. It's not hard. Fourthly, there's any number of fucking reasons why this could absolutely be explained. It's very simple. It's like, you could also just say, like, any number of things happen. Hey, sign this non-confidential, sign this fucking, oh my god, what's it called? NDA, there we go. Non-disclosure agreement. Jeez, I don't know why I keep trying to say confidentiality. Have them sign an NDA and say, hey, you get to keep your arm. If you sign this NDA and say you had nothing to do with this. You know how many veterans who lose limbs, if they had the chance to get it back, how quickly they'd be like, cool, sounds good. Like, what? And again, they make very clear in the scene, they're desperate to get this fucking shit out there as quickly as possible. It's told as being desperate since Osborn's died. Exactly, yes, literally at the same time Jake said that, I said it. Yes, they literally talk about how desperate they are because Norman Osborn is dying, which, by the way, he does address. We'll get to that in a second.
Right? That means investigators will suspect that Oscorp was...
Why would there be investigators? You're acting like they would know some criminal shit happened.
...involved in using an untested formula on veterans through duplicitous means. Even...
Sure, if someone were to say something, but they don't think anyone's going to say something.
If the formula works, they're still showing up on the law enforcement's radar for this. And of course...
Why would they show up on the law enforcement's radar? What are you talking about? I'd like a few upgrades since I'm getting my limbs back. You're so real. You're so real, though.
Of course, there would be a whole can of worms for if this formula didn't work, and ended up killing those veterans or causing other harmful outcomes.
Okay, like what?
What are you gonna say when the police question you on that?
If they died because of a complication while they're getting their flu vaccine at a hospital? Any number of things can happen at a hospital, especially when getting a vaccine. And again, it's really cool. You can make them disappear too. Like, it's not hard. That's why they're going for veterans, because people don't care about veterans. That's kind of one of the ideas here. This is a plan on the formula. Yeah. Like, what?
I wanted it to happen. Is that wrong?
Fourth of all, if the point of this project from Oscorp's perspective is that they need to save Norman as soon as possible...
Okay.
He doesn't have time. Norman Osborn is dying, Dr. Connors. Save him. We both lose our heads.
Then why focus on testing regrowing limbs? Norman isn't...
So this is where I get pissed off because he's using knowledge from a future movie to talk shit about this one. We don't know what Norman Osborn is dying in the first one, so you cannot criticize the first one. You can criticize the second one. The second one, I'm all for criticizing because that does not make sense, and they don't explain it in the second one. There's no logic behind it. Why are you using this shit to heal something that's completely unrelated? However, I can simply come up with a counter for that, actually, just making shit up and say it's probably on the basis that if it's able to regrow limbs, it can probably regrow and save dying cells. That would be a very simple conclusion with that one, I would think. But again, regardless of that, roll back the fucking tape. That is the sequel movie. That is the sequel movie. That is a sequel, not this one. We're talking about this one. That's the sequel. You can criticize the sequel for that. I think that's a valid criticism, although, again, I think you could absolutely kind of go, whoop, and connect those dots, but I guess it doesn't connect it, and it's not exactly clear, so I can kind of understand, but that is the sequel. We don't know why they're studying this in the first one, and that's not the fucking point. Regeneration of limbs, regeneration of cells as a whole, duh. You know, exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yes, it absolutely does kind of lead in that research, but again, I think it's a fair criticism to criticize the sequel, because it doesn't explain that. In the first one, we don't know what Norman Osborn is dying from. It could be for fucking anything, so you don't know how this is applicable to him. We don't know. It could be literally, it could be cancer, as simple as actual real life cancer. And that would make sense for it. It allows you to get more antibodies in your system that help fight back against the cancer. You can make yourself literally, you can make the cure to cancer. It's very basic research that helps Connors get his arm back, but also will help Norman Osborn. They're running out of time though, and they need a... Hi. You want to say anything? You're just here? Okay. So again, it's just stupid. It's like, that's not this movie. That's the sequel that you're really criticizing here. I love you. And yeah, that's just dumb. It's not applicable.
Suffering from lost limbs, he's suffering from a sickness that's killing him. Yet this experiment is entirely fixated on limb regrowth.
Again, one, you're talking about the sequel, not the first one. We know it's a sickness, but that doesn't have anything. Again, cell regeneration is what they're talking about. If you can do cell regeneration, that means you can regenerate dying cells in your body. Super health drug seems dumb. Why would Osborn want it? They're probably expecting this movie to be such a banger that they start advertising the sequel too hard, basically losing the plot in the long run. More than is, you're right about the hospital bill point. They're probably expecting this movie to be such a banger they start advertising the sequel so hard and basically lose the plot in the long run. No, but again, in this film that doesn't make sense because again, even then, there's still, as Jake and I were saying, you can just use the argument that they're regenerating cells. That argument can still be used to save Norman Osborn's life, regardless of what problem he's having. Bleh.
Many of these wonderful creatures have so brilliantly adapted that they can regenerate entire limbs at will.
Exactly. His whole point is cell regrowth. Not just arm regeneration, it's cell regrowth as a whole.
Trying to harness this capability and transfer it into our host's...
Because if you can get an arm to grow back, you can get anything to grow back.
Freddy, the three-legged mouse. Cross-species genetics is finally working.
Hazings?
Lizard DNA to help Freddy regrow that limb.
Why is this the plan to save Norman? Regenerating his limbs wouldn't save his life.
Damn, I'm late. You're good. We only just started on this dog shit video, so you can still watch it with us.
It's not like lizards are known for being completely immune to dying of sicknesses. This can...
What are you talking about? What? What are you fucking on about, bro? Huh? What are you fucking talking about? You fucking troglodyte. What the fuck do you mean? Wizards can still fucking die from illnesses, guys. What the fuck is going on here? Wizards will we can fucking sick and die, fucking idiot. Wizards will we have fucking cold blood and not warm blood. So this is clearly not gonna fucking work. Fucking idiot. What are you talking about? What? I actually muted it.
Known for being completely immune to dying of sicknesses.
Yeah, but they can regrow limbs. Forgot that being a lizard was the plan. Yeah, he did. Legitimately. He thinks the whole point is to turn everyone into lizards already. That comes later. Much later. A little technology would totally be reserved to ritual of a certain type. Cough, cough files. Oh, dude, 100%. True. Yeah, 100%. That's also another argument you can make for his previous point about how, like, oh, well, why would he go to this hospital for veterans? It's like, dude, you can absolutely only save this thing. It's like, you don't have to make it public. Kill Dr. Connors after you're done with him, after he makes the fucking illness, and then just give it to all your rich buddies. Boom. Or you would capitalize it and send it out to everyone and be like, make us... Insulin is so crazy expensive. Do you think they wouldn't do that with this? They wanted the gene-specific regeneration to be applicable overall. Exactly.
And their test subjects weren't mice with a sickness comparable to Norman's. The test subjects were three-legged mice. That's what they're specifically testing for. So how would this...
Because if you can regrow an arm by regenerating cells, you can regenerate cells across the fucking body! And arms tend to be obvious when they're fucking gone! What? Bro, watch the movie in reverse. I don't know how else to explain this.
Even saved Norman's life. What does this actually achieve for him?
I don't know. I don't know. It's almost like he's dying or something.
And here's another thing. Not all veterans have the same disease Norman.
They literally say veterans because veterans are known for missing limbs from combat. So if they're missing limbs from combat, you can get those limbs to fucking regrow, which is the primary test for this research. You fucking idiot. What are you talking about? You literally said earlier, if these veterans all of a sudden start regrowing limbs, you know it's working and that could be a problem. So you clearly know what the intention is. You're just making up shit.
So random samples of veterans won't give reliable information.
If all these veterans like immediately start regrowing their arms and legs that are fucking missing, I think we have a clear-cut example of this shit working. Oh, what? All right, Little John, relax.
Also, in trying to make a threat to Kurt, Rotha basically reveals that Oscorp had something to do with Richard Parker's death.
He doesn't reveal it. He reminds him.
Which is something Kurt could testify to if this does go to court.
Is this guy retarded? Does he think the system always works with no problems? You're using clips from Daredevil, which the entire show constantly shows you how the system fails. Constantly. Over and over and over. The entire plot of season 2 is about how the system failed the Punisher. That's like literally the entire point of that season. What? Ah! What are you talking about? Why would he go to the... What are they supposed to say? If it goes to court. Yeah, if they go to court. They never will. Creating replication technology would be more practical at this point. Man, just clone healthy cells and compensate the difference. I don't know, but I've watched enough Star Trek to make something sound cool. Dude, no, you're right, though. If you can regrow my arm, you can regrow fucking anything from the body. And this guy is doing research on regrowing the arm, so that's what he's mostly focused on. It's cell regrowth, though. So literally it can be applied across anything. Now, in real life, what this would be, it would be more of a serum specifically targeting the arm. Now, that was where you would start to see this argument kind of fall apart if they said that in the movie, but they don't. It's for regrowing any limb, which is cell regeneration. And cell regeneration can, and even if it was just for one arm, that's still cell regeneration. You can absolutely use that to target other cells in the body then.
It's a little late for shock and indignation, Kurt. About 15 years late.
I've no idea what you're talking about.
Richard Parker wore it well. Unused a cheap suit, as it was then.
I had nothing to do with that.
Is that what you told his son, Peter?
I don't...
Literally using the example, proving that it wasn't a threat. It wasn't a threat. It was a reminder.
What you're saying.
And again, another reason why Connors would not go to the cops, because he would probably be arrested for not fucking talking to the police and saying, hey, by the way, I knew this was happening and I didn't say anything because I wanted to further my own career. Like, yeah, that's a pretty big omission that can get you in trouble, and then you'll never have access to that serum again that you've been working your entire life to get, and you'll never have your fucking arm back.
You don't know, or you don't want to know? I'll remind you what happened. Richard Parker...
Imagine the cost to replace or regrow. Oh, dude, it'd be fucking millions minimum.
Parker said just about the same thing then that you are saying now. The clock is ticking, Dr. Connors.
He's essentially saying that going against Oscorp will result in what happened to Richard Parker. Making the threat in this way requires you to imply that you were involved in that.
No way. Really? First of all, I don't have to imply it. It's all about how you say it. It's not true. But I will say that I don't think he was involved necessarily, but he knows that Oscorp was involved, so he's using that threat against fucking Connors, saying, hey, by the way, if you don't do this, we will fucking kill you, without directly saying that, because that would be illegal and that would be a crime. But again, if you just make it a threat, a vague threat that you don't, implicate yourself for, you can absolutely say that and you can get away with it. That's not get away, but you get my point. Connors has nothing he can do here. He was vaguely threatened by a coworker. That's nothing. The cops can't do shit with that other than tell the coworker, hey, don't do that again. People pretend scientists are robots and not people with their own selfish desires. Exactly.
And this will have implications in the second movie, but we're not.
So we're not talking about the second movie, though, genius. We're talking about the first one, so keep it on fucking track.
Not there yet. If anything, this simply gives Connors more ammo that he can use against you.
Good job.
What happens if the court questions you on that as well?
Why do you keep going back to court? They're not in court. They never went to court. This has never been said. Why didn't he call the police? Why is the film implying he would have such feelings for dead people? Is he threatening it? Exactly. Like, what are you talking about? This would imply that there was something criminal that was investigated and found. They haven't found anything. Holy right, you're not wrong.
I wanted it to happen. Is that wrong?
I won't. The formula is ours now anyway. I'm shutting it down. Have your office cleared out by the morning.
Okay, and you're just gonna leave him there unattended with the formula as well?
Welcome to the 110.
He didn't even have security watch him or anything. This entire exchange is why Kurt injects himself with the lizard formula.
Why would you expect him to inject himself with a highly experimental drug? This was done out of extreme desperation. He only has a few hours to clear out his entire office, and he's using this time to go, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I've waited long enough. So definitely did the shadier side quests in the franchise. Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of which, that doesn't make sense either. Kurt knows how dangerous an untested formula is, and that Rotha is on his way to potentially poison people. Why doesn't he file a report?
Because he would get shot and killed. That is why. I didn't think I'd have to spell it out, but clearly I do.
Why doesn't he try to stop him straight away?
What? Attack him? What do you mean? What? Yeah, I'm just gonna fucking jump on and rip his fucking throat out with my teeth. Try to subdue him? What are you gonna do? Dude, then you are a criminal. Connors would then be a criminal for doing that.
This formula could kill him for all he knows, and even if
he doesn't think about that because in the moment he's desperate. He realizes his one chance of regrowing his arm. The guy literally tells him, there goes your chance of regrowing your arm. And Connor's like, fuck, he's right. Okay, I'm gonna do what I have to do. I'm gonna get this back. It doesn't make sense. Why is he desperate? Doesn't he have some weird deep... Exactly. Probably knew he was retarded, so they left him in a room to see what happens because technically he's covered by insurance now. Oh, again, let's say hypothetically, there were security guards watching him. The serum's in his room. This entire fucking lab is his. That's his lab. He's running this whole operation. Now it's owned by Oscorp, but you know what I mean. He's running it. So security would just be outside and be like, okay, cool. He would run in there, grab it really quick, inject himself really quick. It wouldn't change anything. He had security with him. Like, what are you talking about?
If he grew desperate, he could save the formula for himself and bring it with him. He didn't have to take it straight away, which is completely at odds with his earlier precaution to not do human trials immediately.
Again, he was desperate. Any number of reasons why he couldn't have taken it with him. Actually, no. Okay, here's an example. Most liquid medications or vaccines or anything like that, they have expirations on them. They don't work indefinitely. So if you have that and you grab it, you only have a very limited amount of time. Plus, I think it was refrigerated in that scene. You can see mist coming out because it was probably refrigerated. Because again, that shit needs to be refrigerated to last longer. So if it's not going to last, you need to use it either now or never. This is basic shit.
Immediately, the setup for his transformation.
What if the imaginary security guards pat him down? Dude, oh my god, that's actually a really good point. Hey, we want to make sure you're not taking anything that was within this fucking area. We want to make sure you don't do that. That's a really good point.
Doesn't make sense, and it's not even within his character to do so by this point.
What do you mean? And it's absolutely 100% only within his character to do this. It would only make sense for him to do this. He knows he can't get it to he knows he won't have it for long before he needs to take it or throw it out because it will be worthless. He does not have time. He doesn't have the money to fucking use to create a giant expensive fucking lab somewhere. He only creates the lab in the sewers after he becomes a lizard because I'm pretty sure he starts stealing shit. Or maybe he moves his own custom little lab down there. He's countering his own argument. He has done this twice now. And also, by the way, the reason why the small lab works when this lab didn't was because now it's more focused on perfecting the lizard aspect of this when before it was specifically limb regrowth, which wasn't working. At least not fully working. You haven't tried space drugs yet? You're so right. You're so 100% correct. He is countering his own argument. He has done this like twice now. I know, it's bad. It's really bad, dude. I got like, again, I actually, oh, you know what? I didn't even get to this. I got to like, I think like 10 minutes in. 10-ish minutes in, and I was like, this is fucking horrible.
Already doesn't work.
Emma, it's Kurt. Is he there?
I'm afraid not, Doctor. The car's taking him to the Veterans Hospital in Brooklyn.
No, he can't, Emma. You have to stop him.
So Kurt starts struggling with his arm and realizes it's having negative side effects. So instead of calling the police about it, he calls some random person.
No, you literally just showed that. I don't know how you didn't fucking catch that in editing. No, it's the exact opposite. His arm regrows, and he's calling the guy to say, hey, I did it. It works. That's what his goal is. And he's like, and then she's like, oh, you know, he's going there right now to distribute this to the fucking, the hospital staff and basically get them to sign all this shit. And all. He's like, no, have him come back. We're at the point. I just experiment. It totally works fine. We don't have to do that. And then it's like, well, he's already across the bridge. We can't call him. That's when the stress starts pushing the lizard shit out. And he's like, oh, fuck, I gotta go.
Person on the phone about it, then tries entering a taxi to reach Rotha.
What? What are you talking about?
This wouldn't...
Again, well, yeah, when you fucking completely lie about the sequence of events, it does kind of come across stupid.
Stop Rotha, even if he somehow got there in time.
This wouldn't stop Roth. How do you know? He's desperate. What are you talking about? Why'd I be freaking out if my hand came out looking like that? No, I agree. But again, at that point, his fucking mind is clearly shifting when he's starting to become the lizard. Like, you can tell. It's very much like he's starting to fucking become an animal.
Throughout all of this traffic and just
why didn't he call the police? Why is he telling the company you don't have it? Exactly, 100%.
Immediately spotted his car. What's his plan when he does find him? To knock on the door and hope he unlocks it?
So, first of all, he's not planning to meet him there. He's planning on meeting him at the hospital. He doesn't know about the traffic just yet. If he did see him in the traffic, he probably would get out and say, hey, listen, man, we got to talk. We're good. We're totally safe. We're fine. Look, it's working. He's self-countering? Yeah.
Why not just get the police involved? What makes...
Is this guy like a Blue Lives Matter guy? I'm not trying to get all political. I'm dead ass because there's no way he's not with how much he's sucking the hairy nutsack of the New York Police Department. What is happening here? Why does he think the police are just going to do everything? Like, what? Okay.
Makes this even worse is that he eventually turns into the lizard and...
Do you think he really thought he was going to turn into a giant fucking lizard? There's no way you're going to try to pull that argument, right?
Once he does, they make it very clear that his character changes and his motivation becomes more extreme.
Yes. That basically mean his brain is shifting, so he has the memories of being human, but he is now no longer human, so his way of thinking... Exactly, 100% yes, John, yes.
I want to create a world without weakness.
This was taken to an extreme degree, causing the lizard to try forcing his cure onto everyone else.
Then he tried to turn the whole city into lizards.
Yes.
Crazy.
So if that's true, then why is he still targeting Rotha?
Because that plan wasn't in motion. Again, when you watch the whole movie and then change the sequence of events, it does start to like not make sense. But if you watch it in the correct order and understand how the story's actually progressing, it actually makes a lot more sense. He was an animal in this moment. That's like the whole point of this scene. That's why he's like, oh shit, that was weird. I turned into a giant lizard man. Now, hey, hang on a second. What if everyone else was able to turn into a giant lizard man? Then we would have no problems. Now, hang on a second. If everyone, we'd also regrow limbs. And we wouldn't have cancer because we can regrow those cells too. This is the perfect specimen. Hyper rapid mutation radicalized him. That's so weird. Yeah. Like, what?
Why is he still trying to stop him from spreading the formula to others? I don't
even think he's trying to stop him. I think he's just trying to kill him at this point. Like, his mind is so fucking animalistic.
He wanted to give them this cure that evidently works on him. What motivation does he have to stop Rotha at this point? Why not go back to Oscorp, use more of the lizard formulas that he had laying around, then take the Ganali device and finish his plan?
Because his plan wasn't set that way yet. And the Ganali device was inside Oscorp. He had to, as the lizard, grab it and take it all the way up to the rooftop. You can literally see that in the shot here.
Him from spreading
I think it's right here.
Others. I thought he wanted to give them this cure that Oscorp...
Yeah, right here, right here.
What motivation...
You can see him grabbing it and he's jumping outside and crawling up the fucking side of the tower. I think it's just raw vengeance. Yeah, exactly. You need a lot of Mary Jane if you need any of this to make sense. Or does Snoop Dogg himself? Yeah, 100%.
Go back to Oscorp, use more of the lizard formulas that he had laying around.
But I'm so confused by this statement that he would use more lizard formula, or he could just use. Wait, hang on. How do we know he didn't just grab more anyways? There's any number of reasons why this doesn't make it. Because he's already made the fucking the thing before. He knows the fucking the vaccines like the oh my god, what the word, the chemistry to make it. He already knows how to make it.
Then take the Ganali device.
So he makes it himself.
And finish his plan already.
Again, he doesn't have this plan in set. This is like halfway into the movie he comes up with this plan.
He doesn't actually have to go to the sewers to pull this off. He can go to Oscorp and release the formula to the city like he was planning. From the jump, his plan already doesn't make sense.
No, the plan makes perfect sense in terms of his villain motivations. It actually makes all the sense it needs to.
He eventually learns that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and is also aware that the lizard formula wears off after a while. In fact, he increases the dosage for this reason.
In attempt to repress regenerative relapse, dosage has been increased to 200 milligrams.
So if he knows he runs out eventually, then why didn't he bring spares with him?
I'm sorry, wait, did we jump ahead, or what the fuck is he even talking about? I'm so confused.
He's also aware that the lizard formula wears off after a while. In fact,
we've hit some chemicals before he died. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Increases the dosage for this reason.
In attempt to repress regenerative relapse.
Yes, they did. They fired him. Yes, Jake. But I think he's saying that as the lizard, why didn't he crash in there and steal more and then throw it up in the air like immediately right off the bat? But again, that wasn't his plan. That's why he's working. Exactly. Yes. That's why he's in the series. Yes.
Has been increased to 200 milligrams.
So if he knows he runs out eventually, then why didn't he bring spares with him?
Because he didn't know he was going to turn into a giant fucking lizard? Did you watch the movie?
We know he can do this because he literally does exactly that in the...
Yes, because that's when he realizes that that's when he fully comes up with the plan to turn the city into lizards. Yes.
Final act, when he uses the formula on others. The thing stopped Rotha from doing earlier for some reason. If he didn't...
Because at that point, he didn't have the plan to do this. At all.
Run out, then he would have finished off Spider-Man very easily.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Even then, I don't see the point of going to Spider-Man at all. He already has the resources he needs and is clearly fine with using them in the final act. Even with Spider-Man still active, he can simply just go to Oscorp by using the sewers to get there the same way he did to get to Peter's school, and under his perspective, he knows he can beat Spider-Man if he happens to show up by chance.
Dude, this guy's losing. He's losing me so fucking quickly. Hang on.
Stop Rotha from doing earlier for some reason. If he didn't run out, then he would have finished off Spider-Man very easily.
Yes.
Then, I don't see the point of going to Spider-Man at all. He already has the resources he needs and is clearly fine with...
Because Spider-Man's the one person who can stop him and has stopped him in the past. I bet he thought the homie was turning into a Ninja Turtle.
Using them in the final act. Even with Spider-Man still active, he can simply just go to Oscorp by using the sewers.
And guess what? Spider-Man ends up stopping him. This is why he tried to kill him. This guy lost me. Are we still talking about the bridge sequence? Dude, I don't know, Jake. I'm lost too. I think he's just kind of rambling now. Like, he's just throwing in all these points into one. But again, none of it makes sense. He's like, the whole thing is like, well, why didn't he just like turn the city into lizards and not kill Spider-Man? It's like, well, Spider-Man's the guy who's trying to stop him. And he realizes that.
To get there the same way he did to get to Peter's school.
Hey, Baggin, I need to hear that again.
To stop Rotha from doing earlier for some reason. If he did...
So, okay, at this point, his argument is, why didn't he immediately after turning to Lizard, go back to Oscorp, grab all the vials, go up there with the Ganali, I think it's called Ganali? I think it's Ganali. With the Ganali device, go up there, put the thing in, and shoot up in the air, turning everyone to lizards immediately. The obvious counter argument to that is the very fucking clear, concise, obvious answer that that was not his plan at the time, because this was his first time turning into a fucking lizard, which he obviously did not expect to happen.
Run out, then he would have finished off Spider-Man very easily. And
his argument here is now, it's like, well, if you didn't run out, then when you tried to go kill Spider-Man, you would have been able to kill Spider-Man. And it's like, that's not even entirely necessarily true. You could have probably, but we don't see like that being 100%, especially again, because it's like, what?
Then, I don't see the point of going to Spider-Man at all. He already has the resources he needs and is clearly fine with using them in the final act.
Also, again, another thing is that when he is in the lizard, that's not him in his correct mental state. It's very, very obvious, especially by the ending when he saves Peter instead of letting him fall to his death. He saves Peter. It's very obvious he's not in his right mental state when he's the lizard as well, by the way. So him going to kill Peter, I don't even think that was fully the intention. I think he was just like, all right, I'm going to go kill him now. Doesn't he also modify the serum to be stronger? I can't remember anymore. This guy's editing has fried my brain. Yes, he does. As he goes on, he makes it stronger and stronger. That's why at the end of the movie, he actually has to be stopped with the cure. That's the only way to stop it. Because he's releasing the perfected serum on the people of New York. That's why those SWAT members turning into lizards was a big deal.
And with Spider-Man still active, he can simply just go to Oscorp by using the sewers to get there, the same way he did to get to Peter's school, and under his perspective, he knows he can beat Spider-Man if he has—
Oh, also another reason why this scene doesn't work, to be fair, because there's a little bit of a criticism here I can throw. I can throw a criticism here at the movie. It is very weird that he goes up trying to kill Spider-Man, throws him into a wall, and then runs away, and then immediately starts to do his master plan. That is a little bit weird pacing-wise, because it's like, why didn't you just finish the job? Why did you run away? It's like, well, he's probably turning you back into to fucking Connors. The reason why this actually happens is because in a deleted scene, that is exactly what happens. And he talks to Peter, and Peter and him go to his lab together, and then through a series of events, he turns into the lizard and kills Rotha because he comes back, which is also another weird thing. That character just disappears from the movie, but he comes back, he kills him, and then he runs to complete his whole thing because he realizes Peter's not going to be on his side. Not excusing it. It's not in the movie, so it doesn't count. I'm just bringing that up. That I will throw a little criticism there. The pacing and that's a little weird, but again, it's not even that like bad. He probably thought he did enough damage to fucking to Peter that he could get away and do his fucking do his shit. He probably thought it was enough. Maybe he thought he even fucking killed him by throwing him to the wall there. But again, regardless, he's just tweaking. He didn't mean it.
Me again. I'm getting stronger every day.
He literally had Spider-Man fleeing from him. He has no reason to go after him instead of simply going to Oscorp. And even if Spider-Man happens to show up on the way, he knows he can beat him. So
he doesn't know he can beat him. He's trying to kill him now.
The entire school fight is just a waste of the lizard's time.
I mean, again, not really. He's trying to fucking kill Peter. That would convince him to join him. Actually, you know what? Oh shit, no, that is his plan. He does beat on him a little bit, but he's also trying to convince him to, hey, stop, just let me do it. Trust me, it'll work out. And then when he realizes that isn't working, he throws Peter and then runs because he's going to go do the plan anyways because he realizes Peter's not going to be on his side. That's right. I almost forgot about that. So no, the plan actually does work. That actually makes so much sense. I tell you that exactly. Yeah. Oh my God, that actually does work. I actually just fucking remembered that the scene does actually make more sense. I tried to criticize it and it ended up making more sense. Lo and fucking behold.
Now, some people might try to counter this by saying that the lizard makes worse decisions because the formula is affecting his mind.
Okay, that's not the exact counter, but sure. You know what? Let's hear your counter to this one because I did use this one earlier.
That doesn't work if the lizard is shown to be intelligent even with the transformation.
He didn't say he turns into a fucking three-legged retard, bro. What are you talking about? Well, he isn't slurring his speech. He can speak English. He must be smarter than me. What are you talking about? That doesn't mean he's not crazy. He's insane. That's the point. That's very obvious. He was probably trying to convince Peter to be the super lizard his right hand. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Spider lizard. I said super lizard. Spider lizard his right hand man lizard. Yeah. Dead ass though. He probably was. I think that was actually kind of the point. He was like, hey, just stop. Dude, look, I'm trying to help everyone. And then when Peter starts fighting back, he's like, all right, fuck you. He beats the shit out of him and then runs because he's like, this is not going to work. I'm not going to be able to convince him. I'm just going to go do my shit then.
Not only can he talk, but he can also do this mid-battle. So, yeah, he's still supposed to be...
No one said he was stupid. They just said it made him crazy. It made him radicalized.
Smart. The best I can say about his character is that his motivation to create a world without weakness makes sense, and his backstory with Peter's father is a neat way to bring the two characters together. But Kurt's weakness and Kurt's motivation is that the movie doesn't explore it beyond throwaway dialogue. Kurt mentions how he's an outcast, and that once his plan is done, he won't be alone anymore.
There will be no more loneliness, no more outcasts.
But the movie never
Roll back the tape. What are you saying?
So, yeah, he's still supposed to be smart. The best I can say about his character is that his motivation to create a world without weakness makes sense, and his backstory with Peter's father is a neat way to bring the two characters together. But a large weakness in Kurt's motivation...
So a large weakness in his motivation...
is that the movie doesn't explore it beyond...
and the movie doesn't
throwaway dialogue.
Hey, SK, I don't know if you noticed, but he doesn't have an arm. I know. Shocking. The guy's arm? Gone. 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 No arm. Work for Disney or Bethesda because he sounded like an SJW. No, he's not SJW. He's just an idiot. Get outcast by the science community, hence why he is now with Oscorp instead. Could be thinking of... I think that is a different adaptation, but regardless, he's missing his fucking arm, and he very clearly says, I feel like an outcast because of it. There's enough in the movie to understand why he does this. It's not throwaway dialogue. That's totally viable. What are you talking about? What? He's missing his arm. That is the whole reason he's doing this research. And then he finds out not only can he fucking bring back his arm, he can fix just about any other problem that people have. Duh? Huh?
Kurt mentions how he's an outcast and that once his plan is done, he won't be alone anymore.
Is that not valid enough?
There will be no more loneliness, no more outcasts.
But the movie never develops this to a meaningful capacity.
What do you want them to do? I actually want to know what you would have done in this situation, given the opportunity to change the script. What would you have changed about this? What could you have changed to make this better? Because as far as I'm concerned, him saying no more loneliness, no more outcasts, and my arm will be back is more than enough for him to do this. He's trying to save the world in his twisted mind.
There's not a scene where Kurt is shown to feel isolated from others because of his missing arm. He's full capacity. There's not a scene where Kurt is shown to feel isolated from others because of his...
He's in an apartment by himself. He wears a wedding ring, but we never see his wife. Probably because they're not together. There's a lot of little shit that if you just look, you can put this shit together. He wears a wedding ring in the movie, but we never see his wife. That pretty quickly starts to imply some shit. Let's go one step further. Not only do we never see his wife, but we see the scene of him really looking in the mirror of the reflection showing his other arm. He's reflecting his arm back at him to see what it looks like to have two arms again. In that scene, again, it focuses a little bit on the ring on his finger. He wants a sequence where other scientists are bullying him and how he can't get a date. He wants his phone like this. That's literally has to be. It's subtle enough, but it's obvious that he just wants to make everyone equal. What?
His missing arm. He's shown to be well adjusted with others and open about his ideas to regrow his arm. There isn't a scene that gives the impression that Kurt was ever an outcast because of his arm. Not to mention that the movie never addresses Kurt's family.
You can't use that. That's outside adaptation. It's outside media. This is just an adaptation. They can change it if they want. But again, they do slightly by implying he has a wife, and they never say anything about her because there's obviously an implication there.
Which is limiting to the movie's ability to flesh him out as a character.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I agree that them cutting out the scenes with his family was a bad idea because they're pretty integral to the plot in terms of... Not integral. It works without it, but still, it's really helpful for his character, and it makes his character arc much cleaner, because I'll be the first one to say, the Lizard's the weakest part of this movie. He is. He absolutely is. He starts off, it's just too choppy. His arc is way too choppy. It is. It doesn't have a good enough through line. It kind of goes boom, boom, boom. Maybe he lost his wife and his arm at the same time. Dude, any number of things could have happened. Exactly. There's so many implications. We never even find out why he doesn't have his arm. Because the whole point is it doesn't really matter. It doesn't. The implications are all you need to say, yeah, he fucking feels like shit not having his arm. He wants it back. Tell that dude to fire his editor. I think he's his own editor, I'd imagine.
There's apparently deleted scenes that explores his relationship with his son, which, in concept, would help humanize him further and make his turn to villainy more tragic.
I agree, and I actually agree with that, yes.
But most of what's done with Kurt to set up his turn into the Lizard seems to be more focused on moving the plot forward.
You can do both. Character development can work with the plot moving forward. Actually, that tends to be the same thing. But, you know, whatever. What do I know, right? I've never made a movie before.
Rather than also allowing the audience to understand him on a personal level, which is something the Raimi
I understood him on a personal level. I did.
movies were successful in regarding Norman Osborn or Otto Octavius.
What? What? Dude, Norman Osborn has almost the exact same arc. Actually, it's a weaker arc because he's just supposed to be a villain. It's the exact same setup, though. He realizes he's running out of time, he's running out of funding, he's about to lose everything, so he uses the serum on himself, he's skipping the human trials, and he's like, look, I'm gonna make this shit work. And it goes wrong. Does that dude have 45K? So 45,000 people subscribe to this man.
Especially when focusing on how they change and what this means moving forward. The Spider-Verse movies were also successful with this through their explorations of Kingpin and the Spot.
Kingpin gets one flashback. I don't know anything about his family in those movies other than that they didn't agree with the crime doing. Look at that. It doesn't matter, though, because the point doesn't his family doesn't matter. It more so matters how much they meant to him and how they push his character progression through the story. Obviously. And the Spot is just not a very good villain. I'm going to be real. He's just not very good.
There's also never a...
I don't think he is. I think the Spot is incredibly overrated for the fucking movie he's in. That movie's just not very great either. I'd like to do a video talking about why I don't like it. I'm afraid that if I watch it again, I'll get too biased. I just don't like the movie for a lot of the changes it makes to Spider-Man. And I don't want to sound like this fucking asshole who just makes a bullshit to fucking get mad at. Or sound like Cosmonaut, who's way worse. Where I just sound more like I care about like fucking comics than the story being told. So I don't want to review it on that basis. I'm worried that if I review that movie or talk about it anyway, I'll get mad at myself. Like, I'll be way too biased and way too personal. I'll make bad arguments because of it.
Moment where his motivation gets directly confronted by Peter, or at least a moment where they have a meaningful interaction once Kurt is established as an...
I'm sorry. What?
Explorations of Kingpin and the Spot. There's also never a moment where his motivation gets directly confronted by Peter.
You're not yourself, Doc. During the entire school fight. Like, the entire school fight, he's talking to him saying, hey, you need to stop. Like, you also just don't have to have this. I mean, the guy you're showing right now on screen, they don't really have that scene. Once Osborn becomes a villain, he never stops being a villain.
Kingpin and the Spot. There's also never a moment where his motivation gets directly confronted by Peter, or at least a moment where they have a meaningful interaction once Kurt is established as an antagonist.
Here's what I'll say about this one. Because I think he's almost there, actually, at this point. I do think he's almost there. Except, again, the entire school fight is them finally learning each other's identities and confronting each other on their grounds for what they do and who they've become. The entire fight has dialogue in it where they talk to each other. These types of channels or videos are basically brain rot filler background noise. Essentially, they kind of are.
Given that they both shared an investment in helping the world, there is a conversation to be had about why either side believes in their methodology.
There is a conversation during the fight scene you're showing right now.
But that's never put to the forefront. There's not a moment where either of them feel betrayed by the other.
Why do you need that? What?
Once both of their identities are revealed, nor do either of them comment on or confront each other on this. Kurt doesn't have a reaction to the fact that the person who's fighting him is the person he mentored, and
because his mind is getting fucking jumbled up by the fucking lizard juice. Why would he attack Peter if that wasn't the case?
Peter doesn't have a reaction to the fact that the person he is fighting is his mentor.
He kind of does. Although, again, I do agree that it's kind of not really shown super well in the movie. Especially because this scene was butchered by the editing because of studio production and shit where they were like, we got to cut bullshit out of the film for some reason. This scene right here was butchered to hell. It really was. This is like the one point I can almost give him, though. I do think this is almost a valid criticism, actually.
So, if these two...
Don't they do that in the end segment? They do. But his point is more so they don't really have, like, once they find out who each other are, they don't really have a moment where they're like, so you're the Spider-Man, oh, so you're the Lizard. Which I don't disagree that it's like, you don't need that. I think the movie's fine without it. But I don't think the criticism itself is any less like valid. I think it's a valid criticism. I just don't think it really matters much. I think quantitatively, I don't think it really would have added much to the film beyond the scene that they did cut out, which I do think is a great scene, where Peter and Connors actually have a direct confrontation with each other. That is a good scene, and it sadly got cut from the film. But again, I don't think the film is like objectively the worst thing ever because it's missing. It's just kind of like, oh, that sucks. That's a point off the meter, I guess. Sure.
Didn't know each other personally, most of their interactions would be functionally the same. The confrontation in the sewer would play out the same. The confrontation at the school would play out the same. And
yeah, but what about the confrontation at the end? What about the thematic relevance of him trying to save this guy who he thought as his father, or he saw as a father figure, as a mentor? It heightens what's already there. Sure, you can cut that shit. You can do that with a lot of films. You can cut out a lot of shit. You can cut out all of Roz's and Bruce's fucking interaction at the start of Batman Begins. You can cut all that shit out, just have him be a bad guy in Gotham trying to shut it all down. But it heightens and it makes their relationship in Batman Begins much deeper and much more meaningful. You can do this with a lot of films. You can take away a section of something and it stops meaning as much. Cosmonaut tried to do this shit too. Again, it heightens what's already there. Because what's there is fine, but it adds to it and adds an element that makes it much more meaningful and impactful.
the final confrontation would play out the same. So what's valuable about the dynamic between the protagonist and the antagonist? This isn't a question I can answer. Another element I fail to understand about the Lizard is his moral boundaries. And while he is a villain, this is worth addressing, as villains can have moral boundaries in spite of their
Yeah, they can, but they don't have to.
villainous actions. Now, characters like the Joker or the Green Goblin basically have no bounds, but a character like Sandman
It's not entirely true, but okay.
is not okay with hurting children. Darth Vader can't bring himself to kill or let his family die. Villains can
That's, I'm pretty sure, not true. Anyways,
have varying degrees of morals, and even this movie shows this. The Lizard tries to convince Peter rather than trying to kill him when he believes he easily could.
All these souls, lost and alone, I can save them, I can cure them.
There's another element to consider. He doesn't want to kill everyone. He wants to cure them. He wants to heal the world.
Dare finish that sentence. Don't do it. I'm sick of it.
I imagine this is why he didn't want to kill Gwen, even after she tried to stop him and used a flamethrower against him. The Lizard doesn't needlessly kill because he thinks he's saving people, so it makes it pretty strange for him to gloat to Peter about how many people in his life have died.
No mother, no father, no uncle.
Again, this is the point where the Lizard has almost fully taken over his brain. The comics do this too. I don't know why we're acting as if this is like so bad. It's like yeah, he's losing his mind. He's losing his marbles. There's a reason why he saves Peter at the end instead of letting him fall. Again, this is something that happens in the film. The film that I don't think you watched. He's not alone.
Strange interaction considering Peter and Kurt cared for each other, and the Lizard believes his creation will make it so Peter doesn't have to be alone. So
yeah, but so what? So he can still talk shit though, Dingling. What?
that he never has to face tragedy again. I thought that was the whole point of this.
There will be no more loneliness, no more outcasts. I can save them! All these souls, lost and alone, I can save them. I can cure them.
Yeah, but he can't bring his parents back from the dead, idiot. And he's pissed off at Peter because Peter keeps trying to stop him. That's why he's mad. So he's throwing out some fucking bad guy dialogue saying, fuck you, dude. You think you can stop me? You're too fucking... Dude, you don't got anything, dog. You think you have the chance to stop me? You got nothing, man. Come on, man. You got nothing on me. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, what are you talking about? Well, how's this relevant?
What makes this worse is that the Lizard is clearly willing to kill Captain Stacy, the father of Gwen, who he just spared earlier.
Okay, he is willing to kill Captain Stacy because Captain Stacy was shooting at him and stopping him, and if he didn't stop Peter before he fucked with the Gunai device, then it would stop his master plan. Like, this is totally within his moral reach. Yeah, this makes sense.
When all he had to do was disarm him, he could have broken his gun instead of stabbing him.
He could have, but he didn't because he's a fucking crazy monster lizard. What are you talking about? I know, shocking. This video is so bad. This is arguably worse than Cosmonauts. This is arguably worse than Cosmonauts. Because at least Cosmonaut, a lot of it comes down to like him just being subjective, but like portraying it as objective criticism. This is like objective criticism that's just all wrong. Except for one that's like almost valid.
He could have just ignored him too, because he's away from the cold gases, and none of those bullets would do anything to him if he was to climb up. So he really has no reason to try killing someone he wants to save.
Because he's in the way. He kills him because he's in the way. And because he is blasting him with a shotgun. You're right, it can't, but he also got blasted earlier with rifles, and it did stop him for a moment before he self-healed. He doesn't instantly heal. You can even see it in the shot you showed where his arm regenerates.
This worse is that the lizard only because he's away from
I don't remember the scene. I don't care now.
Someone he wants to save, when he just spared his daughter who also tried to stop him. I suppose you could also apply this to when he tosses a bunch of cars off.
Again, he was a rampaging monster.
The bridge, which would have killed them if Spider-Man didn't show up.
And again, this was him not under any control. He did not control this monster at all. He was losing his marbles. He was like, what the fuck is happening to me?
So the villain of the story doesn't work. His backstory doesn't make sense. His character is inconsistent, leading to his plans not making any sense. And nothing about his dynamic with Spider-Man.
His character is completely consistent. What? Hang on.
So the villain of the story doesn't work. His backstory doesn't make sense.
His backstory makes all the sense it needs to.
His character is inconsistent.
It's very consistent.
Leading to his plans not making any sense.
His plan makes perfect sense.
And nothing about his dynamic with Spider-Man is executed effectively.
What is his plan with Spider-Man? To stop him and stopping him?
The lizard alone does significant damage to the story. I figured that Peter and Gwen should have in sections because many of my issues with them will overlap. While I think the idea behind Peter's character arc is interesting, and it has a lot of good elements, there are parts of the execution that damage it. This opening with Peter Parker is great. It does a good job of showing where he is as a person at the start. He's a good kid who tries to make good choices, but he can also be tempted to do bad things under the wrong circumstances, which is shown well once he gets his powers. I also like many of his interactions with Aunt May and Uncle Ben. My first issues arise when Peter tries to sneak into Oscorp to learn about his father. I don't know why he's trying a risky plan like this in the first place, considering he can just reach out to Connors at his home. He's shown doing that
because he doesn't know Connors. He doesn't know him at this point. He hasn't even met him. So he tries going to his work first.
Later, so I don't know why he can't do this from the beginning.
He can. He chooses not to. He chooses, I'm gonna go try to talk to the guy first.
And if he made the decision that makes more sense for his character, then he wouldn't have his powers in the movie. So
what are you talking about?
Significant consequences to the story. It's not only impractical, but it needlessly screws over someone who earned their place in—
Fuck off with this bullshit argument. Cosmonaut tried to do this shit too. No. Stop. The guy who got thrown out was not a real person in real life who got thrown out of a real life internship. It's a part of a fucking story. Stop overly sympathizing like this. It's so weird. Like, yeah, a bad thing happened to someone. It's not okay. It's not cool. Why are we acting like Peter's a fucking monster? He did something selfish and shitty. Yeah, that's kind of the fucking point.
The internship, and this seems to be at odds with Peter standing up against Flash.
It's almost like it's selfish. It's almost like because at this point he didn't think there was any route to find out anything new about his father and didn't have any hopes of fucking doing anything with that information. He didn't have a fucking hole that needed to be, oh, he had a hole, sure, but it wasn't something that was sinking yet. When he finds the briefcase in the starts of the movie, after this scene, that's when the mystery starts and that's when that hole deepens and sinks and that's when he starts looking for that father figure. His life isn't fucked forever either. Exactly.
At school, I don't think Peter would—
The intern's fucking fine. The kid really couldn't attend a random nerd museum. My God, I bullshit. Exactly. Like, sure, it matters, but it's like, dude, it's fucking... They're acting like this is irredeemable shit for Peter. It's shitty. It is. He's an asshole. Yeah, that's the fucking point. He's a selfish dick in this. That's the whole point of this scene. He is not supposed to be not redeemable. He's not supposed to be seen as like, oh, that's a good thing he did that. No, you're supposed to be like, oh, that was kind of fucked up.
In the internship, and this seems to be at odds with Peter standing up against Flash at school. I don't think Peter would do this if he had any other choice. He also doesn't do a good job hiding himself from Gwen when he knows he could be exposed for this. He's shown trying to hide his face earlier, but when Dr. Connors asks a question to the students, Peter randomly decides to speak up.
No one? Cross-species genetics.
And you
Yeah, and it's... You fucking scumbag! Oh my God, did you see how he edited that shit? If no one even knows, hang on, let me fucking fuck you, you fucking bitch. You bitch. You're a fucking coward.
Cross-species genetics.
You can see in this scene, he's hiding in the back. He's hiding intentionally. He just wanted to say it quiet or loud enough just so he could hear the answer. Then, as you can see, before he cuts it conveniently, everyone starts to move out of the way, revealing him. He's even looking down and looks up like, oh shit, they see me.
And you are?
He's one of Midtown Science's best and brightest.
Oh yeah, Gwen finds out about this too. Gwen saw firsthand what happened to the real Rodrigo, and she knows that Peter is impersonating him, which got him in trouble with Oscorp and left him completely humiliated. But when she talks to Peter about it, she simply laughs this off, even though
she doesn't just simply laugh it off. She's very clearly pissed off at him. Very clearly.
That kid's day is ruined and that's Peter's fault.
Oh, boo-hoo! The kid's day is ruined. The whole movie's terrible now. Irredeemable trash. He's worse than Tony Stark at the beginning of Iron Man 1. No! Just like in Iron Man 1, I'll use that as an example. He's a fucking piece of shit in that movie. He's an asshole. He is a huge douche. Yet we don't think, oh, fucking Tony Stark for the rest of the film is this evil person who fucking deserves to die. No. Like, get over it. Actually, yeah.
And by extension, it's Gwen's fault because she doesn't speak up about it and try to reach Rodrigo so he gets his rightful place in the internship back.
Maybe because she's covering for the guy she likes, even though she's mad at him for this. Maybe because she's covering for him. And also maybe because it's like, it's probably just too late. The guy got thrown out. He's probably already moved on. How does she contact him? Does she know him personally? The video just sounds like a Madvocate wannabe. Who's Madvocate? That sounds familiar. I'm gonna look this one up. Madvocate. Oh, this guy. He kind of gives the same vibes, but I'm pretty sure he calls him a fucking shill. Oh yeah, grifter right here. It's just funny, dude. Oh man. Yeah, Madvocate's kind of funny. Although I think he has some iffy criticisms too. Just a little bit. But I do find his videos actually funny, so I can allow it. Just like Cosmonaut, dude. Cosmonaut I think has horrible takes usually, but again, I look at it like this. If you're funny, I can almost allow it. This guy's not funny. He's not entertaining. His editing sucks, and he's actively being manipulative now with the editing. Which is like a major piss point for me. Like, that immediately makes me mad at you. How dare you edit this in a manipulative way so that your point becomes more sincere? You're just a liar. Tony Stark killed troops. We don't say Tony is a murderer whom is unredeemable. Dude, yeah, what he did was objectively worse. He got troops killed.
She enables Peter to do this and laughs it off with him.
What do you, yeah, do you, what, huh?
Which is all.
She doesn't even laugh it off with him. Again, as I said, she does not laugh it off. She does not do that. It's not what happens. She does laugh, she chuckles, but it's very clearly like a friendly, like, haha, yeah, you're in trouble, dude. That's fucked up of you. Don't fucking walk away. I want to talk to you about what the fuck is going on after this. Because you're here for a fucking reason.
Also at odds with her character, since she went out of her way to defend Peter when Flash was bullying.
Yeah, defend who? Who? Say it again. Who is she defending?
Also
what was that, huh?
Character, since she went out of her way to defend Peter when.
Oh, defended Peter. So she can't do that twice. No, now it's out of character. What the fuck are you talking about? She likes him.
Flash was bullying him, and she commended him.
God!
Stand up to Flash.
I thought that was great, what you did out there.
That's one of the reasons given for why she likes Peter. So Gwen looking the other way and even laughing it off when Peter ruins someone's day is making it hard to buy their relationship.
Why does that make it? I support you, Peter. That's not reasonable. I support you even though you did something that was fucked up, Peter Parker. It's not realistic. Are we gonna see another? Is this guy gonna be as gay as Cosmonaut was, where he was like talking about how like he wants to see more of guys kissing?
What are you doing, Rodrigo?
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing here?
I was going to say I work here, but it seems like you in fact do work here, so you know that I don't in fact work here. I just snuck in because I love science.
Peter is obviously lying. He doesn't have a good reason to steal someone's identity and gain access to.
That's why she doesn't believe him, and she says we're going to talk about this later, because right now she's in the middle of guiding a fucking tour, which is related to her internship, which takes priority.
Oscorp resources. Peter could have criminal intentions for all she knows.
What the fuck is this nerdy fucking kid from Queens gonna do? What does she think he's gonna do?
She barely knows Peter by this point. Is she not at all concerned by this?
I'm gonna ask you more about this later. Do not get me in trouble. Stay with the group.
What? What are you talking about?
So she's fine with keeping him around and enabling an impersonation of someone as long as she doesn't get in trouble for it. Not.
What are you talking about, dude? I've already addressed this. It's not about her. She doesn't think he's going to do anything too fucking crazy, which, by the way, he wasn't going to do. He wasn't. He starts walking away a bit because I think he was going to go talk to Connors in that scene, and then he gets sidetracked because of he bumps into this guy. She probably did. She was like, stay with the group. What did you expect him to do?
To mention that if they find out that Peter did this and you let him...
I'm pretty sure she also says, I'm not going to take the fall for this. I'm pretty sure that's almost like an exact quote from her. I think her point being, like, if you get caught, dude, I'm not defending you. You're a piece of shit. Fuck you. You're going down for it.
Do it, then you're caught aiding and abetting a criminal. Again, I don't buy this for her character.
Why? She's defending the person she has a crush on.
This makes her look really bad.
It doesn't make her look really bad. Maybe a little realistically, humanly selfish. And again, she punishes him later, and she's very clearly not happy. You can see by the expression on her face in this shot here, she's not happy with him. She's not. She's very confused and almost concerned.
And even if this was within Gwen's character, the movie doesn't criticize either of them for this.
You're right. No, you're so right. Peter being a selfish dick at the start of this movie, he never has anything. No repercussions ever happen to him. You know, his uncle doesn't get shot in the fucking chest and die because of him being an asshole and selfish. That doesn't happen. Never happens. No, you're wrong. It never happened. You said you watched this movie? You clearly didn't. SK watched the movie, dude. Clearly. This is what I'm talking about, dude. This movie gets hated on way too much. Way too much. This movie, people just make up shit and they go, oh yeah, no, see, it happened. See? All these reviewers said it happened. It's like, you guys just didn't watch the fucking movie with any brain power. You didn't.
And because of that, they end up glossing over their flaws, which is...
They don't gloss over the flaws. Flaws would make us human. And when you're in high school and you have a crush on someone, it tends to be almost like, it tends to be some surface level shit that you can look past the flaws pretty easily for. That's how high school relationships work. It's very realistic.
It's not a great way to start the relationship. While this doesn't ruin the relationship in totality, it is worth addressing, and trust me, there is more to break down as we move along.
Okay.
She finds out that Peter might get her in trouble, so she kicks him out.
Alright, give me badge.
The next time we see them, she doesn't seem to have an issue with this, and just pretends it didn't.
Again, she doesn't just pretend it didn't happen. She's very clearly upset, but it's a small thing. You walked away when I told you not to. Give me your badge. It's not like he fucking killed someone. She didn't see anything wrong with him. He just stumbled away. I told you once, don't do it. You did it. All right, get out. She very clearly punishes him by doing that. Peter was still probably wanting to talk to Dr. Connors in that moment. Now he can't. And he has to go out of his way and go to Connors after reading his book, by the way, which is how he gets the address.
Happen, even though from her perspective, Peter just ignored a vital request she made to avoid the risk of losing her job. Why is she okay with this?
Because she punishes him later.
I wanted it to happen, is that wrong?
If anything, this is a sign that Peter doesn't respect her.
Or he's more preoccupied with the reason he came here to begin with than the girl he really likes. He does really like her, but he's also like, fuck, I really need answers.
And when Peter goes out of his way to needlessly humiliate Flash, which would only escalate things between them, Gwen just laughs it off.
I'm... What do I even say to this shit anymore? SK didn't watch this movie. I don't think he did. I actually am confident now. I'd put money on the fact I don't think he watched this within the past year. I'm not adding else anymore. This guy's a LARPing Reddit loser. He really is. Holy fuck, is this guy an idiot. Wow. What do I even say anymore? I don't know if should I even fucking finish this point? I think it doesn't matter anything else. I don't think any criticism he can come up with now, no matter how valid it is, matters, because he's intentionally editing clips from the show, from the movie to make them appear much more like along with what he's saying, which is lying. He's lying now. Actively, he has lied in this video to make his point seem more valid, which immediately makes me go, you no longer have any right to speak on anything in this fucking video if you're lying. No, he was like doing some colorful editing beforehand. I think it's to avoid copyright if you show mismatched audio and video. And again, but the video matches, so I'm fine with it. That you deliberately cut out a shot that showed him hiding. Anything new? It's just a void of nonsense. I'm about to just put it on 2 times speed and just like let it play and just listen for anything, like anything that's really bad. Or you know what I might actually do? I might skip. There's no response. I think I'm gonna skip this entire section because I don't think he has anything else to add. I don't think so. What do we think? Are we thinking skip this entire I'm gonna give him like 1 more minute.
And doesn't have an issue with that either. She's helping Flash with school, so she does care about him to a degree. And Peter is...
Yeah, and she cares enough about him to say that he's an idiot in front of all of these people. Of course.
Mostly displayed negative traits in her experience. So why doesn't she tell him off for this, or at least show a sign of disapproval?
She literally does do a... There's also the transcript feature. Oh, is there? Is there actually? Where do you find the transcript? Where do you see that? No settings. Unless you mean like just subtitles. I learn new things every day. Options. No, that's all just shit. Okay. Damn. All right. I don't see it. See if you can tell me. Mr/Mrs/they them Admiral Helm. I'm sorry. That was something funny. That was very awful. That was disgusting. You are totally valid for unsubscribing, disliking, and just leaving. I would not blame you for having that just be said. But anyways.
Why is Gwen so quick to say yes to Peter asking her out?
Because she thinks he's cute and has a crush on him.
When she barely knows him and...
Because she thinks he's cute and has a crush on him.
And the little she does know of him, from her perspective, Peter has willingly ruined someone's day.
Ruined? Oh my fucking god.
Illegally...
We've already talked about it. Let's just move on.
That person...
It's not illegally personating them. It's not illegal. You won't get charged with a crime. This guy's a fucking idiot. He thinks that cops will just arrest anyone they don't like.
And put Gwen at...
This person never had a date before. Dude, it's like the people who fucking talk shit about this relationship in this movie, it's always the same 2 types of people. Gay idiots. It's not all gays. It's just the idiot gays who want to see 2 guys making out instead of a guy and a chick. Or it's fucking just virgins. That's it.
Risk of losing her job against her wishes, and unnecessarily provoked drama between Flash.
He was bullying him. He's been a bully. Flash was also being a dick to the chick, and Peter stood up for her.
Even if she thinks that Flash deserves it.
I wanted it to happen.
Okay, even if she does.
Peter isn't much better, and she doesn't acknowledge this at all.
Peter doesn't beat up people. Peter doesn't start fights. Peter doesn't lift up kids by their fucking pants and force them to eat their food off their fucking table. He doesn't start anything. He finishes it, sure, but he doesn't start it ever. Hell, sometimes, most of the time, he doesn't even fucking finish it. It's only that one basketball scene. That's the first time he fights back. Before that, he just gets picked on by everybody.
She should have an issue with both Peter and Flash, but she ignores all of Peter's blatant weaknesses as a person, so I already don't buy the relationship.
Because you're a Reddit fucking loser incel fucking virgin, yes.
Peter's character is at his best.
It is on the bottom of the description, you think so? Oh! Admiral Helm is my new favorite subscriber. New favorite subscriber. If you are a subscriber. I don't know if you are, but fuck yeah if you are.
In this movie, when he's not around Gwen, funnily enough. I love the scene where he's testing his powers on a skateboard.
It's a great scene.
I reject the criticism of him using a skateboard. It's cool that he's using it, and it makes for great visuals.
I agree.
His interactions...
I actually really agree. I actually really like the skateboard.
Connors are good because they show his naive use of his smarts while also building off of Peter's desire to learn more about his parents.
Yes.
And his relationship with Connors is generally believable and interesting to watch. He has some great interactions with May and Ben before Ben dies. Ben's responsibility speech is pretty solid, and I like how Peter doesn't take it well at all.
Why is this all in the Peter and Gwen Stacy section? Shouldn't this be in like a things you like section?
It feels very human for Peter to deflect blame onto his dad and for Ben to take immediate offense to it when he does that.
Yes.
Good stuff here. I love when Peter slams the door in anger and it
shatters
Ben because
oh, so good.
Know that he has power.
Such a phenomenal
and I
scene.
like Peter's reaction to Ben's death. Andrew's acting is brilliant. Peter's interactions with others are great. And this shocking event gives a good reason for Flash to cut Peter some slack and reflect on the value of showing kindness to others, which supports his growth at the end. And I really like the moment where Peter comforts his aunt, acknowledging that it's now just the two of them in the house, showing that he has to come to terms with that. And this is really where the movie peaks. Instead of webbing him up for the police, he runs away after finding out it's not the guy who killed Ben, and allows him to leave. Why would he do that if he makes sure the other criminals get arrested? This is inconsistent with the arc they're trying to go for. There's also a part...
Again, we don't see him not web up the guy, though. You're just saying it because you didn't see it happen. It must not have happened. But again, you can imply that he could have webbed him as he was running and then ran away. This could have happened. I've already said this in the Cosmonaut video. It very much could have happened. You never directly see him not web up people. It might be like someone implied there, but you could absolutely just imply the other direction. If something's implied, you can always imply the opposite. Almost always. It's vague enough that it comes across because he's not focusing on capturing them. That's why the movie doesn't focus on him webbing them up and giving them to the police, because he doesn't really give a shit. He could, though. He absolutely could. And we see him capture at least one guy, so clearly he's willing to do it. So why is it unbelievable he's capturing these other guys, or at least webbing them up and letting other people call the police? You don't get that, though. So I'm going to skip to his next point here, because I don't think he's going to come up. Actually, I could just read this really quick. Warns of wearing a mask kind of defeats the annulment stream. While I like the concept here, hiding his injuries from May after getting worried as a result. So the interaction in the movie is a bit forced. Peter was focused on a car thief who didn't put up a fight. He easily evades the cops who barely put up a fight. Then he comes back with these random injuries on his face. He got hit by a truck and or by several vehicles. Hit by several vehicles. On his face, such a relative encounter. Did someone drop a fridge on him? Force, even if it's a good in isolation, there's also this weird scene where Granite lands against the fire escape. How's it good to see through the window, which could make her suspicious of being Spider-Man? Again, he reveals that he's Spider-Man in this scene. It's very obvious he was planning on revealing that to a certain degree. It's very deal. Okay, so this is just, again, I don't know why we're like all of this shit is the Peter and Gwen station. It's like, this is way more than Peter Parker and Gwen. So let's skip ahead.
We're not given that, which again plays into how unbelievable the romance in this movie is. Before Peter makes it to the bridge, they show us...
They did, absolutely. Thank you, Admiral.
Instead of changing into Spider-Man right away.
Kind of defeats the whole anonymous superhero thing.
Now, Spider-Man does do a great rescue. He webs many of these cars and has a really great scene where he saves Jack from the car. It forces him to become a hero and learn Captain Stacy's criticism of him.
It does.
It's great. When he serves others rather than just himself.
Yes.
And it legitimately feels
I should have put in
this
faster
scene is
speed.
Almost perfect until he swings away from the bridge when there are other cars behind that need saving.
Why?
What are you talking about? There's other... What? Put it at 1.5. There we go.
We know this from Captain Stacy's criticism of him. He sees the impact he has when he serves others rather than just himself, and it legitimately feels great for him. This scene is almost perfect until he swings away from the bridge when there are other cars behind that need saving.
What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Did you not see the scene where everyone gets out of their cars and runs away? It is very obvious that it could be implied that even if there were people in there, they're probably going to be okay considering the cops are arriving right as Peter is swinging off. They probably have a multitude of ways of helping those people, I'd imagine. He saves the kid because he hears there's a kid trapped in a car, and he goes, oh, fuck, I probably should save him at least. The hanging cars are empty. No, that's what I figured. Yeah. Dude is smoking crack, I guess.
Why?
We know at least one of these cars has a person inside, so not everyone was evacuated. And if one of them...
Okay, sure, one of them. That one single one had a guy in it. And the other one that did, he saved the person.
Could set on fire, then the others could as well. So we should be checking those cars instead of literally...
Again, we see the cops. I think he's just trying to bug out before they fucking capture him because he's still learning. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired, boss.
Undermines the point of the scene, and it's disappointing.
You're a fucking bitch boy. Shut up. It does not undermine the scene.
Peter then tries to go to Kurt to find vulnerabilities for the lizard. In that scene, he also learns that Kurt himself is the lizard. Now, Peter makes a series of choices here that are completely out of character. First,
okay, I'd love to hear how this guy thinks he's out of character. Let's hear it.
He lets Kurt leave. Kurt could...
He lets Kurt leave? What? What do you want, huh? He doesn't realize he's the lizard yet
possibly gone
until
Peter could easily catch
well after he's gone, and then he sees the fucking rat eating the other rat, and he starts taking a second. He goes, hang on a second. Oh shit! And then he realizes Connors could be fucking anywhere. How do you know he didn't immediately start running after him?
If he followed Kurt, he could have talked to him and tried to ask him what happened, or see if he even knows what happened. He also could have followed him as Spider-Man to prevent him from entering his...
He could have! But Kurt was already gone!
Hideout, which would allow him to talk him out of becoming the lizard again, or at least prevent him from hurting more people. Letting him leave is the most dangerous thing Peter could do.
He doesn't know he's a fucking lizard until after he leaves.
And the reason he let...
Rewind?
Here. Swinging the other way. It really undermines the point of the lizard. Now, Peter makes a series of choices here that are completely out of character. Firstly, he lets Kurt leave. Kurt could not have possibly gone far, and Peter could easily catch up to him. If he followed Kurt, he could have talked to him and tried to ask him what happened, or see if he even knows what happened. He also could have followed him as Spider-Man to prevent him from entering his hideout, which would allow him to talk him out of becoming the lizard again, or at least prevent him from hurting more people. Letting him leave is the most dangerous thing Peter could do.
Again, he only realizes well after Connors has left the room, and even if he did fucking go after him, any number of ways, Connors could have escaped... Jesus, excuse me, I fucking burped there. Oof. He could have escaped the building any number of ways. And how the fuck is he supposed to try and do his hideout if he doesn't know where the fucking hideout is? He doesn't know he's in the sewers. He doesn't know that yet.
And the reason he let him leave was so he can run to the cops about it and report his name. Why would he go to the cops about this when he knows Kurt isn't in full control of his actions and is being affected by a serum?
So you had just admitted that you know that he's not in the full control of his actions, which immediately dismantles several of your other points about him earlier. That completely actually demolishes, like, at least half of your arguments in this section, by the way. I just want to throw that out there because that's fucking hilarious that he just said that. Dude, this take is wild. I don't understand. Ugh.
If Kurt isn't in control of his actions, then how is it fair to have him arrested for this? Peter was there with him to make the formula. He knew that Kurt wasn't trying to hurt anyone. A good version of Spider-Man would realize this and not try to ruin Kurt's life like...
Ruin Kurt's life. Kurt is willfully turning himself into a lizard as far as Peter knows. And Peter learned from his last mistake and is now trying to actively stop this guy by he's trying to actively stop Connors by going to the police like Captain Stacy told him to do. Indirectly, but he still told him go to the police. He's like, okay, I'm going to do that. He's then dismissed by the police because it sounds ridiculous, and he realizes, fuck, I'm going to have to stop him.
This, especially one that has a close connection to him.
When I break this story, it'll be Pulitzer time. I won't let you ruin Connor's life.
It comes across as overly unsympathetic to Kurt, especially since he knows the police can be unfair to people. And this isn't even a good plan. Normal people would get killed by the lizard. Peter knows this.
There's people on the bridge, whatever's attacked.
Because he thinks that he can be arrested as the lizard. Or no, sorry, as Jesus. Before he becomes the lizard. He clearly is a human at this moment. We don't know what turns him into the lizard. Clearly it has something to do with the cross-genetic fucking serum that he's been working on. So Peter theorizes that as long as he stops him from turning into the lizard again, he can do that. You know, you could like, yeah, good, go get him, guys. He's Connors right now. He's a human. He's got to stop him from turning into the lizard again.
I'm gonna kill them. I gotta go after it.
So if the police go after Lizard, then they're likely going to get themselves killed.
Only if he turns into the lizard, which I'm assuming Peter probably knows, hey, he's not a lizard right now after fucking seeing him not being a goddamn lizard. I'm tired, boss. What douche? Well, that's too bad. That's too damn bad! Keep on digging!
Peter, on the other hand, has powers that can contend with him and is looking into Lizard's weaknesses. And even if the police can stand a chance against the Lizard, what's stopping them from successfully killing him? Peter has first-hand experience of almost being shot by a police officer. What makes him think the same can't happen to the Lizard if he assumes the police stand a chance? Either way, this plan reflects badly on Peter's character.
Why would he think they're gonna fucking kill him? He probably wants them just to arrest him.
And even if this was a good plan, why didn't Peter get evidence of this? He presented nothing to Captain Stacy when he has a camera that could take photos of the mutated...
Hey, you know that giant lizard that you guys are talking about right now? I know what's going on with that. Or, hey, you know that guy that threw shit off the fucking bridge earlier? Yeah, I know what's going on with that. Wow, isn't that crazy how you can just say things like that? It's so easy. So easy just to explain simple shit.
Mouse, and this is where things really begin to fall apart for Peter's character. Peter goes into the sewers to confront the lizard, but doesn't actually follow up on his plan to look for any weaknesses. He brings no materials with him that could be used to lower the lizard's temperature and slow him down. Thanks to him and Gwen's access to Oscorp.
Stop. What?
Things really begin to fall apart for Peter's character. Peter goes into the sewers to confront the lizard, but doesn't actually follow up on his plan to look for any weaknesses.
SK, I know you're real fucking slow. Just want to break this one down for you really easily. He sees a Daily Bugle newspaper that says reward for getting a picture of him. So he figures he would go get a picture of the lizard because that would also be valid evidence to give the police, like you said earlier. God damn.
He brings no materials with him that could be used to lower the lizard's temperature and slow him down. Thanks to him and Gwen's access to Oscorp, they could feasibly access chemicals that can be used to slow down the lizard. But more importantly, Peter says this to Gwen.
We need an antidote. Do you know how to run a serum?
This happens way after his first encounter with the lizard, by the way. This is like near the end of the fucking... This is nearly the climax of the film.
Access the cross-species file. It's a blue serum.
Got it. On my way. Antidote complete.
So this whole time, Peter knew how to make an antidote, but...
Hang on.
Lower the lizard's temperature and slow him down. Thanks to him and Gwen's access to Oscorp, they could feasibly access chemicals that can be used to slow down the lizard. But more importantly, Peter says this to Gwen.
We need an antidote. Do you know how to run a serum? I need to access the cross-species file. It's a blue serum. Got it.
Okay, just want to make sure. So there is an antidote that is not made by Peter. It's in the files at Oscorp. Peter does not have access to Oscorp. Gwen does. And Peter is currently in the sewers. He's going to try and get a picture of the fucking lizard. What are you talking about?
My way. Antidote complete.
So this whole time, Peter knew how to make an antidote, but he didn't think to bring this with him when confronting Lizard into the...
He didn't... He doesn't have access to Oscorp. He doesn't. He doesn't have access to those files. You're all sharing the same brain cell trying to watch that video? I feel that.
He also swings to Gwen's house and arrives without a mask on when the police are currently hunting down Spider-Man. He does the same thing after they leave too.
No one seems to grasp the concept of the mask.
He also...
Okay, at midnight, do you think the cops would see a teenager flying through the air? You guys think that would happen at midnight? I don't think it's possible. I just don't think it is. I don't think the cops are gonna see him like that, man.
Masks himself at the school when the police are literally on their way right now.
It's called the secret identity.
When reaching the third act,
I'll agree that him taking off the mask in that school area is really stupid and does not make sense. I'll agree with that one. It would make sense if he went to the bathroom and took it off. I agree. That one I'll give him that one. Although again, that's a fucking nitpick. It really is not deep enough to be a an actual genuine piece of valid criticism. But that is valid enough to be like, yeah, sure, that's fair enough, I suppose. Don't think it matters, but sure.
Peter learns about the lizard's plan to go to Oscorp and release the lizard formula onto the city. I don't know why he doesn't call Gwen immediately after this. It's shown to be daytime when he calls about the serum. He then learns about Lizard's plan, then only decides to warn Gwen after she left the school and all the way to Oscorp when
He learns about the plan, leaves the sewers, and then immediately calls her. He was trying to leave the sewers for any number of reasons. To see shit, that's valid, dude. That's valid. Oh! Oh, God damn it.
Ago wouldn't have been so bad either.
Why is Peter just...
We're skipping this, dude. You're such a fucking idiot. All right, Uncle Ben. Let's hear him. I can't be fucked. I really can't.
Now, I know it's unexpected to have a section about Uncle Ben, but I think even he has a fair share of inconsistencies with his character. Now, Richard Parker wanted him to keep the briefcase safe since it had dangerous research in there that he would never want to get out, and would most definitely say to keep it safe from Peter. It's only after the lizard's creation when Peter realizes why he'd keep this a secret.
See, my father had been working on it secretly. Now I realize why he kept it a secret.
If Richard Parker knew how dangerous this research could be
in the wrong hands,
reasonably
he
wouldn't
wouldn't
Ben
told
about this,
me.
then why does Ben have this briefcase unlocked in his basement?
I'm sorry, what? Hang on. The computer is safe, since it had dangerous research in there that would never want to get out. Safer than Peter is only after the lizard's creation when Peter realizes that he had kept secret. Something my father had been working on, secretly. Now I realize because secret. Richard Parker knew how dangerous his research could be in the wrong hands. I easily would have told May and Ben about this. No, he wouldn't have told May and Ben about this because that would have implicated them, and Oscorp could have killed them too. What? Why would he tell them that? Unlocks it. Ben has it unlocked in the fucking basement because, you idiot, all of the files, everything that was in there that was like actually genuinely hidden was a secret compartment. Everything else was a calculator and a pair of fucking glasses. And a picture of the two of them, of Connors and Parker. The other shit was hidden in a secret compartment in the fucking thing, which I told him to keep it safe. And guess what? It was in the fucking basement. Oh my god. Guys, I'm gonna let everyone else decide. Do we finish the video? Do we even finish it? Do we bother? Oh man.
Digging and found it one day. It didn't seem to take much effort for him, especially when you encourage him to do so.
It was literally hidden behind the stairs. Peter only saw it because he was trying to see if anything was worth salvaging from the fucking flood.
Hey, before you come up, see if there's anything else worth saving.
Oh, well, maybe he forgot about this really important thing that Richard told him about.
Yeah.
Forgot all about that thing.
Yeah, he did. Why would he not? It's a fucking briefcase. He looked at it before, saw nothing, and he just fucking put it behind the stairs.
Why would he forget about something like this?
Because it's a briefcase. Why would he care that much?
It's happening the way that it does is the reason the lizard exists in this.
Not worth continuing. I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna skip to the next sequence, dude. If you can make a clean 20 minutes, the last 5 minutes is gonna be something to lock in. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Let's skip to Oscorp. Makes no sense.
Out of character. Now, Oscorp itself is getting its own section because so much surrounding that building doesn't make any sense, and the first noticeable set of problems are present during its introduction. Now, from the jump, Peter's impersonation plan should not work. Oscorp should have photo IDs to verify their interns, but for some reason they don't, which honestly defeats the purpose of having an ID at all if you can just pretend to be anyone. Apparently.
There's a lot of reasons why that's stupid. One, where would they get the fucking photo from? Two, it's not an ID, it's a name tag. It's a fucking name tag. You sign up for the course at the school, I'm assuming, saying, hey, I'd like to go to an internship here. I'd like to go on a tour here for class. I'd like to go do that. It's probably a field trip. So they just have name tags. Look how cool that is, dude. I immediately figured it out. They're just name tags. Why would you have a picture on a name tag? It's kind of not necessary, man. Especially for an intern who's going to be there for a day.
All you need is a card and a big smile.
A man can do anything if he has those.
Imagine if someone wanted to steal Oscorp data or resources. It really wouldn't be hard, which is especially bad, considering Oscorp is supposed to employ the bad guys.
I think we're good. I think we're good. I used to have shitty non-image stickers that had our name in a blank photo. Yeah. I used to have a shitty non-image stickers that had our name in a blank photo. Yeah. Yeah, dude, exactly. It was just a it was just like a little thing you could like use Sharpie to write your name on, right? Yeah. I give up. That last argument was so bafflingly stupid. I can't even bother. So yeah, SK is a fucking idiot. He's just stupid. I've only seen a few clips from him before. I've watched like a video or two, and I was like, this guy kind of just seems like an idiot. I'm not a big fan of him. I'm glad that I decided to watch that because holy fuck, he's like actually brain dead. Terrible YouTuber, terrible content creator. I don't know, terrible YouTuber. That's a little far, but he's a terrible, terrible, terrible content creator, I think. And yeah, what else am I supposed to say? Anyone have any other notes? I don't know what to say, man. I really don't. Oh, man. I don't even know. I'm genuinely baffled right now. I don't know. Wow. Dude, it's so bad. I actually couldn't finish it. It was that bad. It's like you made a 40-minute long video, nearly 40-minute long video. And you had one valid argument. You had one point. And everything else was completely invalid. That's impressive, right? Everyone agrees? Jesus, dude. I'm so glad I made a stream about this. I was going to do a video, but I was like, I'm going to just put both of these videos because I hated both of them. I'm so glad I did a fucking stream with it. So, yeah. I'm probably going to use this and like turn this into like a VOD highlights thing. Oh, it's so particular where it's like name, reason for being at the area, empty photo. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah. 100%. It's just stupid, dude. It's so dumb. Anyways, I gotta skedaddle, guys. I gotta take a shower, and then I gotta go to class and shit. So, you guys have a wonderful night. If you registered, you'd have a photo, but guests were blank. Exactly. It's a fucking internship thing. It's a little tour. But regardless. Terrible video. Amazing Spider-Man. Good movie. Good movie. Anyone who criticizes it tends to be like this weird over, like, I don't even know what word to use. Like, overly analytical, but that's not just wrong. Everyone just hates on the fucking film. Everyone hates on it. And I don't get why. Everyone does. It's like everyone across the board on YouTube hated on that film when it came out. Everyone did. There was no one defending it. And this, in my whole life, I've looked at that movie and I've been like, I like it a lot. And I started listening to some of these arguments, like, these arguments don't make sense. That's not true. That's not accurate. It's just people didn't watch the movie. I don't know how else to explain it. But yeah, anyways, have a good night, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. I'll see you guys in the next stream. And until then, our next video. Peace out, my Foxy family.